Number 2, documents to support entry of sales and purchases the company made in the amount, this is asked by Senator Girong, 7,485,000,000. B, 7,092,274 as declared in the audited financial statements. And 3, documents supporting or in relation to the assets in foreign currency, which generated $63,232,031 appearing as unrealized foreign currency gains. Now, these are big ticket items. We're not going to be patient with you forever. I think that the senators have given you so much leeway, and I think we're wearing thin. As Senator Pangilinan said, we started this months ago. And now, pinapunching bag nyo pa kami ang nagtatagal? No, kayo ang nagtatagal. Kung nilabas nyo yan, matagal na natapos ito. You're not in trouble. You're the ones that put trouble upon yourself and your family, including Twinkle. You notice we have not asked Twinkle. We could ask Twinkle. I don't think she has a mental problem there. I see her talking with the layer, standing up. I see her sitting beside you. I mean, we're not asking Twinkle out of respect because I suspect that you just practically used your sister's name. But in reality, we can go ahead and do all those things. So think about it. And while you're thinking about it, I would ask the indulgence of Senator Girong because we have a resource person named Ray Abrea who can explicitate further on the tax situation of these folks, including the questions that we have asked. Would you, because he has to go to another meeting at 6:30, with the permission of everyone, I'd like to call Secretary Mr. Abrea.
Mr. Chairman? Yes, Mr. Chairman. Just to reiterate lang din.
While they're thinking about it, because when you finish, we would have to confront them already. Go ahead.
Tulad po nung napag-usapan natin sa previous hearings, marami pong mga material misstatements sa mga audited financial statements na nasubmit sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Gusto ko lamang pong i-reiterate yung Section 253 of the Tax Code. Kasi po kung ang ating mga CPAs ay talagang ginawa ang kanilang trabaho at na-audit ang mga dokumento na to, hindi po tayo aabot dito. Malinaw po sa Section 253, kapag po tayo ay nakasuhan ng tax evasion, kapag para sa mga foreigners or mga alien individuals na nagnenegosyo sa Pilipinas, pagpatapos po nilang bayaran ng multa at ang pagkakakulong, sila po ay pwedeng ma-deport immediately. Para naman sa mga public official, kasama po yan yung mga under the table at graft and corruption, lahat po yan ay considered undeclared income dahil sino naman po ba ang magdedeklara ng tumanggap ng lagay. At ito po ay sanction pa rin po ng Section 253 dahil pwede po silang ma-dismiss sa kanilang public service at kung sila po ay hinalal, maaari din po silang ma-disqualify na permanently at hindi na makatakbo at makaboto bilang pagsunod sa Section 253. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chairman, kung naalala niyo po yung nirekomenda ko last time, na dapat masama sa kakasuhan ng mga accountants at auditors kasi tulad po ng mga sinabi ng ating senador, Mr. Chairman, o anomalya, parang ang hirap-hirap alamin kung magkano ba talaga o saan ang galing ang pera. Sa Section 253 po kasi ang nakalagay lang dapat yung CPA mismo yung nag-violate ng tax code. Pero kung sila po ang pumirma, hindi po sila kasama sa Section 253. Pero sa tingin ko po sa 15 hearings na pinagdaanan natin, dapat po talaga mas may pananagutan ng ating mga certified public accountants, ang mga auditors dahil tulad po ng ating napag-uusapan dito, bilyon-bilyon ang halaga. So dahil po dyan, gusto ko lamang pong i-present yung summary ng findings sa lahat ng dokumento na na-endorso ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee sa akin para reviewin at para malaman din po ng ating mga kababayan at ng mga miyembro ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee kung ano-ano pa po yung mga material misstatements at kung paano po nagkaroon ng mga mas maraming question pagdating sa mga bilyon-bilyon na halaga na nakadeklara sa mga audited financial statements ng mga kumpanya na nabanggit dito sa hearing. Para po sa mga Yang Hongming, Rose Nonolin, Mohit Dargani at Twinkle Dargani, tulad na nabanggit ni Senator Drilon, yan lang po ang kanilang nadeklarang accumulated income mula 2016 to 2020 at yan lang din po ang mga nabayaran nilang buwis. Pero kung titignan po natin, tulad ng mga napag-usapan sa previous hearings, wala na pong ibang dividendo o source of income na pinanggalingan. Pero marami pa po silang mga investments o mga kumpanya na kabilang. Tulad po ni Ms. Rose Nonolin, siya po ay shareholder ng Pai Hong, Shongwei at 7 pang ibang kumpanya. Si Mohit Dergani nakabili ng Porsche noong 2021. Si Twinkle Dergani nakabili ng Lamborghini noong 2021 sa nagkakahalagang 18.5 million. Maaaring ito ay regalo pero ang deed of sale po na submit sa amin nakapangalan po kay Twinkle Dergani. So, masasubject po sa donor's tax yan kung maliban pa sa iba pang buwis kung ito po ay niregalo talaga sa kanya. Then, yung kay Yang Hongming po, shareholder ng Pharmally Holdings at marami pong slides na ipepresenta natin yung mga material misstatements at talagang isa lang po ang tanong, hindi po talaga naging malinaw kung saan nanggaling ang bilyong-bilyong halaga na umikot sa iba't ibang kumpanya. Pero ito po ay lahat audited financial statements. At si Wang Shuyan naman po, wala po talaga siyang active na team kasi po ang kanyang pagkakaroon ng tax identification number na nakalagay sa kanilang Articles of Incorporation ay base lamang sa Executive Order number 98. Ito po yung pag-a-apply ng team kapag magtatransact sa gobyerno, hindi po dahil magbi-business siya. So dapat po ito ay na-activate dahil siya po ay nagkaroon ng posisyon o shareholder dito sa Pharmally. At yung kay Lincoln Ong naman po, wala po kaming natanggap na income tax returns or anuman dokumento patungkol kay Lincoln Ong. Pagdating naman po doon sa 3 kumpanya na nabanggit ng previous hearings, gusto ko lamang po sabihin na sa pagkakaunawa ko po, wala po tayong batas o regulasyon na nagbabawal sa malalaking advances. Kaya lumabas po sa aming pag-aaral, may 2.5 billion advances na umikot sa iba't ibang kumpanya, pero ang puhunan na deklara sa SEC ay nasa 493 million increases lamang nagsimula noong 2018. Wala pong disclosure kung sino po ang nag-advance, sino sa mga shareholders ng iba't ibang kumpanya. At sa additional capital, hindi din po naging malinaw dahil wala din po tayong dokumento ng mga shareholders kung sila po ba ay negosyante o nagmana ng pera na maaari nilang na-invest. At si Pharmally at si Pai Hong na nabanggit sa previous hearing, nagdeklara po sila ng losses mula 2018 hanggang 2020 pero patuloy po yung pagpasok ng advances at kapital sa kanilang mga kumpanya. At si Sean Wei na isang Pogo company, expired na ang kanyang lisensya noong November 13, 2021 pero mamaya po meron din po slide para sa kanya. Si Pharmally Holdings po, i-reiterate ko lamang po, nagsimula sa 625,000 na puhunan, pagdating ng 2020 nasa 200 million na po. Kung mapapansin niyo po si Ms. Rose Nonolin ay may 50 million na investment. Pero sa kanya pong deklarasyon mula 2016 hanggang 2020, wala pong naging basihan o hindi po natin alam kung saan nanggaling yung kanyang investment dito. Ganon din po si Hong Ming Yang. Ngayon, ano po ba yung Pharmally Holdings? Para po sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan at miyembro ng komite, pag sinabi pong holding company, wala ka talagang operasyon o negosyo kung hindi mag-invest sa iba't ibang kumpanya. Pero ang napansin po natin, noong May 17, 2011, kung kailan narehistro itong holding company na mayroong 625,000 na kapital, ito ay nabago noong March 23 at ginawa nilang construction business. Kaya pagdating ng March 23, 2021, si Pharmally Holdings ay naging Pharmally Estate Corporation. At tandaan po natin na siya po yung mga nag-invest sa iba't ibang kumpanya. Pero pagdating ng March 23, naging real estate company na siya. At noong December 14, 2020, nagtayo ng bagong Pharmally Holdings Corporation na mayroong 300 million na paid up capital. Ito po yung nasa next slide. Kung saan nandun po ulit si Ms. Rose Nonolin na may 100 pesos na investment at si Hong Ming Yang. Ngayon, ano po yung mga kumpanya? Ito po yung mga bagong kumpanya na lumabas sa pag-aaral ng mga audited financial statements. Ito yung tinatawag nating related parties o yung mga subsidiaries or affiliates ni Pharmally holding companies. So may Majestic, may Winvest, Advanced Millennium, Bahong Realty, Rich Jade, Win Empire, Winzone na nag-umabot sa 251 million ang puhunan noong 2020. At sa mga subsidiary naman, ibig sabihin ng subsidiary controlling interest si Pharmally Holdings, nasa 77 million. Pero ang gusto ko pong i-reiterate, Mr. Chairman, sa pag-aaral ng lahat ng mga financial statements na pinorward sa amin, lumalabas po 1 billion ng advances ni Pharmally Holdings sa iba't ibang kumpanya at hindi po, wala pong disclosure kung sino ang nag-advance, pero ang kanilang total na puhunan ay 7.5 million lamang. Kung ito pong advances na to ay nadeklara ng tama, ito po ay may 13 million estimated documentary stamp tax. Pinakamababang buwis na pwedeng bayaran kung ito po ay nadeklara ng tama. Kaya lamang po sa pag-aaral ng audited financial statements, uulitin ko po, ang isang napakalungkot po sa dami ng dokumento na pinag-aralan natin, audited financial statements pero marami pong mali sa audited financial statements. 200 million po ang nakadeklara sa GIS pero sa kanilang audited financial statements, 7.5 million lamang po ang kapital ni Pharmally Holdings. So hindi po siya nagkapareho, medyo malaki po ang pinagkaiba nila. Marami pa pong material misstatement sa iba pang accounts. Sa advances to associate, may nag-claim ng input tax na 1 million pero wala naman silang VAT purchases. Investments sa associate, pati total assets nila hindi rin po nagparehas. At pagdating po dun sa Hong Realty, kung saan nandun pa rin po si Ms. Rose Nonolin na nag-invest ng 20 million, from 6.25 million noong 2018, umabot po sa 200 million ang puhunan ng Hong Realty. Noong December 4 po, 2018, nag-increase po sila ng capitalization at ito po ay nakita sa kanilang passbook na sinabit din po sa atin. Naging 106 million ang kanilang cash balance. Pero pagdating po ng January, nawala na po yung 100 million. Naging 1 million na lang po ang cash balance ni Hong Realty Group Corporation. So, si Hong naman po may mga undisclosed financing pa rin po. May advances from shareholders na hindi po nakadisclose kung sino po ang nag-a-advance, 157 million. May donated capital, first time po naka-encounter nito, so wala rin pong disclosure, 130 million na donated capital. Nung tinignan po ang notes to financial statements, ang nakalagay po summary of significant accounting policies. So wala pong detalye yung 130 million na donated capital asset po, Mr. Chairman. Then tinignan pa rin po namin yung ibang accounts. Ang cash po nila 320,000, pagdating sa notes 10,400,000. Ang property, plant, and equipment sa financial statements, 485 million. Pagdating po sa notes to financial statements, 828 million. Tinuloy pa rin po namin ang pag-review ng mga Hong Realty Corporation, a group of corporation. Wala pa rin pong disclosure sa financing. Meron pong dalawang version ng balance sheet or financial position. Na nung una walang disclosure, nung pangalawang kopya na nasa same document, hindi ko lang po sure kung magkaibang date po sinabmit sa BIR, may 618 million na advances from shareholders po ulit, pero nakadeklara po siya as current liabilities at nung tinrace po namin, ito po ay nagmatch sa increase sa construction in progress na nilagay po sa current asset. At ito pong mga advances na to ay at least merong 4.64 million na documentary stamp tax. Paliwanag ko lamang po bakit po mahalaga yung pagbanggit ko na nasa current asset or current liabilities. Alam niyo po Mr. Chairman, sa lahat po na nag-aral ng accounting, pag sinabi nating current asset, ito po ay disposable or madaling magastos or ibebenta natin. Pag current liabilities, katulad ng advances sa shareholders, ito po ay dapat bayaran kagad, either 12 months or within the normal operating cycle ng kumpanya. Sa pagkakataon po sa mga dokumento na nireview natin, nag-a-accumulate po yung advances. Hindi po siya bumababa. Pataas lang po siya ng pataas habang nananatiling maliit ang kanilang puhunan. Sa pagkakaalam ko po Mr. Chairman, hindi po siya illegal dahil wala pong regulasyon or batas na nagbabawal sa malaking advances. or pagbibigay ng advances. Ang gusto ko lamang pong ipunto, Mr. Chairman, yung advances po na nilagay dun sa holding company ay in-issue din na advances dun sa iba't ibang company. So umikot lang po yung mga pera na advances from shareholders, pero hindi po namin alam kung saan nanggaling dahil wala pong disclosure, Mr. Chairman. At para po kay Payhong Real Estate o yung kumpanya, kapag po real estate developer, dapat po yung ginagasto sa kanilang nini-develop ay nai-expense kagad, hindi po current assets, Mr. Chairman. Base po yan sa Philippine Financial Reporting Standards number 15.98C. Ngayon yung sa Pogo Company naman po, si Seanway Technology, from 50 million na puhunan ng 2016, tumaas ng 150 million ng 2020. Andyan pa rin po si Ms. Rose Nonolin. Gusto ko lamang pong i-reiterate, Mr. Chairman, na kung base po sa previous hearing na ang mga puhunan ay nanggaling din po sa asawa ni Ms. Rose Nonolin, ito po lahat ay subject sa donor's tax. Dahil ibig sabihin, pinasa sa kanila yung ownership or yung mga shares na wala silang binayaran. Pero po pag tinignan po natin yung financial statements ng Pogo Company ni Seanway, 7.5 billion po yung total sales nila ng 2019 and 2020 at nakadalagay po sa kanilang audited financial statement na nagbayad sila ng 122.8 million in taxes. Pero hindi po natin to na-verify dahil wala pong tax returns na kasama doon sa sinabmit po sa amin para sa pag-aralan. Malinaw din po sa memo ni BIR Commissioner noong December 27, 2017 na sila ay subject sa 5% franchise tax maliban po doon sa binabayaran nila sa Pagkor at ang kanilang mga foreign nationals, meaning yung mga empleyado na hindi Pilipino, ay subject sa 25% final withholding tax. Kahit po meron pong opinion ang ibang government agency, malinaw po sa Section 4 ng ating tax code na ang power to interpret provision of the tax code and other tax laws shall be under the exclusive and original jurisdiction of the Commissioner. So, ang susundin ko po at ang pinagbabasihan po ng aking pag-aaral ay yung position po ng ating BIR Commissioner dahil siya po yung mayroong authority o mandato para i-interpret ang ating tax code. So, ang Pogo ay subject sa 5% franchise tax at ang mga foreign nationals na kanilang ini-empleyo o binabayaran ay subject sa 25% final withholding tax. At yung 6.1 million na renta, kung tama po ang pagkakaalala ko na ito po yung bahay nila sa Nara Street, ito po ay masasubject sa 3.3 million fringe benefit tax dahil lumalabas po, pribilehiyo po ito na in-extend doon sa management ng company. Overall po sa mga dokumento po na naibigay sa atin, Mr. Chairman, lumalabas po may 3 billion undisclosed source of financing. Mahirap po talagang alamin kasi po hindi po talaga wala po talagang disclosure doon sa kanilang audited financial statements at sa mga amount po na nabanggit natin, ito lang po yung mga na-identify natin sila Rose Nonolin, Yang Hongming at yung mga Pharmally officers. Pero maliban po dyan, Mr. Chairman, wala na po kaming ibang information na natanggap o dokumento para ma-verify pa po yung iba pang aspeto nitong mga para po sa investigasyon natin, Mr. Chairman. So ulitin ko lamang po, Mr. Chairman, medyo masakit po sa ulo yung pag-aaral ng mga dokumento kasi audited financial statements po siya. Kaya sana po in aid of legislation talaga pong taasan natin ang bar of accountability ng ating mga certified public accountant. Kasi kung hindi po, wala na pong magtitiwala sa aming mga accountant kung mali-mali po yung laman ng financial statements o hindi po nagtutugma at kawawa naman din po ang BIR sa pangungulekta ng buwis kasi mahihirapan sila dahil hindi rin po tama yung nasa audited financial statements. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ray. That's a tsunami of information, to say the least. So, ang tingin mo, magkano ang bleed na nawala sa revenue na dapat expect ng gobyerno?
Sa mga amounts po na nasabi natin, Mr. Chairman, lalagpas po yan sa 10 billion o higit pa dahil po lumalabas po maraming undisclosed financing at mga transactions. Yung tulad po nung kay Pharmally, Mr. Chairman, dapat po mapaliwanag ng accountant na alam ko po kasama din natin dito, bakit hindi nagtugma yung purchases dun sa cost of sales na nadeklara din naman sa audited financial statement sa summary list of purchases, at bakit hindi nila bakit si Tigerfield ay wala din doon sa suppliers. Kasi po, Mr. Chairman, ang trabaho ng accountant ay magbase sa mga dokumento. Hindi po kami pwede mag-imbento at hindi rin po kami doktor. So dapat po lahat po ng aming financial reports or mga auditors pinipirmahan, dapat po ito ay talagang na-scrutinize po na pag-aralan mabuti, Mr. Chairman.
Kaya nga napakahalaga ng hinihingi natin na cost of goods, di ba? Yung hinihingi natin na hindi binibigay. Tama ba yan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Kaya kung hindi nila binibigay, dapat ikulong na sila sa Pasay City Jail. Papipilit na sila magbigay. O kaya, payagan natin si Grace Mago, na nagsinungaling rin dito sa committee, babantayan lang natin at dalhin nila yung mga boxes na sinasabi para mapwersa ng lumabas lahat yan. Makakatulong ba yun, Mr. Abrea?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if I may recommend, nabanggit po kasi doon sa sulat ni Mr. Wang na si Royal Cargo ang kanilang warehousing at delivery service company. Sa tingin ko po kung warehousing ka na nag-charge ka sa bawat unit na nandun sa warehouse, may record po sila kung ano po talaga ang inventaryo ni Pharmally at kung ano po yung dineliver nila. Kasi Royal Cargo Incorporated lamang, Mr. Chairman, yung nabanggit nila na in-outsource nila to be there to provide warehousing services at delivery services, Mr. Chairman.
Forwarded that request to the Director General to subpoena those records of Royal Cargo or in a friendly manner request the information. I wonder if the Director General can tell me what is the status of that request.
Yeah.
Mr. Kimbo? Attorney Kimbo? Well, anyway, if he's not there, we will try to get those documents from Royal Cargo immediately. Yes, Senator Dillon.
Yes, just to emphasize to the public the difficulty in getting to the bottom of this because these people have refused to cooperate with the committee in terms of submitting the documents. You know, just a few hearings ago, we heard of Tiger Marketing admitting that they sold supplies to Pharmally. In fact, I think it was that company, Mr. Chairman, who volunteered to pay income taxes because na hindi nagbabayad. And yet, look, Tiger Marketing is not one of those companies listed in the companies were in the summary list of purchases of Pharmally Pharmaceutical Corporation for 2020.
It doesn't appear there.
It doesn't appear there.
Yes.
What appears is a Evermore Marketing with a huge purchase of
2 billion.
990 million. Obviously, something's wrong here. The documents that they have submitted in the pertinent government offices do not tally.
Kaya nga pinapakiusapan ko ang ating Pangulo na payagan na ito mga ito para matulungan natin makakuha ng pera ng gobyerno dito sa mga taong ito. Pinipigil nila tayo. Umaaksyon na dapat ang BR dito and I think they're trying to do that. And also the customs people dahil malaking tulong ito sa ating mga mahihirap pag makukolekta yung mga yan at baka mabawi pa yung ibinayad natin sa mga ito. At nakikita dito, kaya nga palagi ko pinapakita yung stockholder background, nagsisimula sa 625, ang kanilang favorite number, 625,000, na niresearch naman natin at ni Senator Antiveros na yun ang lucky na number ng mga Chinese na gusto nila babasbasan sila. Kaya 625 dito sa Pharmally, 625,000 dito sa mga korporasyon nila. So talagang magkakasama talaga sila. At makikita nyo, si Rose Nonolim, ang lalaki ng kanyang stocks doon sa mga korporasyon. Mayroong 40 million, mayroong mga kwan. So I think that we have done the homework that is necessary na ano pang hinihintay natin ng BIR. Kung ako sila Gargani at saka sila Lincoln Ong, wala na. Huli na kayong lahat dyan. Mag-cooperate na kayo para hindi na tayo matagalan pa rito. Mr. Abrea, ano ba ang dapat natin na usigin dito na dapat na kukunin natin sa Royal Cargo, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yun, lalabas na mas malaki yan.
Mr. Chairman, wala pa din po
Your Honor.
tayong wala pa din po kaming records mula sa customs kung na-import po talaga yung mga medical supplies na nabanggit ng Pharmally.
And that is precisely during the budget hearing, I precisely asked the chairman of the Committee on Finance, and right away, sabi ng customs, ipibigay nila sa atin because doon malalaman kung talagang namili sila ng mga produkto sa ibang bansa. At unang-una, bagamat hindi sila kasama dito sa tinatawag natin na requirements para makapag-import dahil ginamit natin dyan yung bayanihan, kahit paano malalaman natin kung talagang may nag-deliver. O talagang malalaman natin kung deliveries, malalaman natin kung saan napunta talaga yung mga deliveries.
Cargo na bago.
Katulad dyan, lumalabas nga,
Hindi pa natin pinapadala.
Rudy, your phone, your microphone is on. Lumalabas ka, tama talaga yung sinasabi namin ng Senator Drilon na yung ACME at saka itong isa ay 2.9 billion itong
Evermore.
talagang mahuhuli talaga yan. Hindi po ba? Mr. Ebrea, tama po ba yan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Walang rason na itago nila yan. Kundi talagang tinatago nila dahil yan ang pinagtataguan nila ng talagang nakaw na pag-ibig ng kwarta. Tama ba yan? Inasabay lang ko sa mga nanonood, napakahirap po ng trabaho namin dito. At ngayon pinalalabas sila, demanda sila ng demanda as if we are trying to harass them, we're trying to give them a hard time. Dapat lang magbayad sila, dapat lang mahuli sila until hell freezes over. Magkaroon na ng yelo sa langit, sa impyerno, hahabulin natin yan to the ends of the earth. Yan ang sasabihin ko sa kanila. Ang maganda lang doon, kumikita yung mga abogado. Okay lang ho sa akin yung kumita yung mga abogado. Pero dapat lumabas rin yung talagang tunay na babayaran nila sa ating lipunan. Senator Dillon? Would you like to continue? Or Senator, go ahead.
I yield to Senator Hontiveros in the meantime.
Senator Riz, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, at salamat din po, Minority Leader. Just a quick follow-up, Mr. Chairman, kay Mr. Mohit Dargani tungkol sa misteryosong Mr. Gary Wong, if I may. Mr. Dargani, yung Gary Wong, is that Gary with 1 R or Gary with 2 Rs?
1 R.
Just 1 R. So, si Gary Wong ba yung Business Development Director ng Ant Group? Siya ba yun?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
We never had a conversation of, I believe, Ant Group is Jackma. We never had a conversation of Jackma.
Okay. Or si Gary Wong ba ay yung development partner sa Enterprise Singapore? Siya ba yun?
I don't know what's Enterprise Singapore.
Okay. Or si Gary Wong ba yung corporate lawyer sa Hugil and Ip Solicitors sa Singapore? Siya ba yun?
I know he's not a lawyer.
So he's not a lawyer.
From what I know, he's not a lawyer.
All
From what I
right. Last but not the least, no, not last. Si Gary Wong ba yung Business Development Manager sa Poly M sa Singapore?
I don't know what company he's affiliated with.
Okay, I'm just
I don't
trying.
know
Baka
what's
something.
Poly-M.
Okay. Baka something will spark your memory about him para mabawasan yung ano namin, yung pagka-misteryoso nito. Is Gary Wong part of INSE, a ship finance expert sa Singapore? Hindi.
I don't know.
Is Gary Wong a photographer? No.
I don't think so.
And last but not the least, is Gary Wong assistant manager sa Plant General Services Limited sa Singapore?
I'm sorry, Madam Senator. I don't know most of the companies you mentioned. I only know of Ant Group because that's of Jackma, but I know he's not affiliated with Jackma. Or we never had a conversation of Jackma at least.
Alright, Mr. Chairman. So, misteryoso pa rin itong si Gary Wong who could afford to lend
I've
Mr.
been biting my lip
Gargani
here with
tens of
Mohit,
thousands of
although
dollars.
I think I'm
Thank you,
going to
Mr.
ask you
Chairman.
again what Senator Dillon, what everybody's been asking you. Are you ready to cooperate? I think
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
you shouldn't put it all on yourself. Maawa ka naman sa nanay mo. Sabi mo yung kapatid mo. Ang dami mo nang pinahamak. Ngayon si Gary Wong naman ang papahamak mo. You're trying to tell me that you met only Gary Wong and he lends you 37 to $50 million. That's because you met in a bar? Did you have an affair with this guy? I'm serious. Why would he lend you 1 million, the equivalent of 2.5 million pesos at most?
I guess he knows my background. Maybe I'm
You
assuming
got a lot of money from Pharmally, correct?
not a lot. But maybe he knows that I can afford to pay him back.
And you didn't have to give him any papers or any collateral for that? You let us believe that?
Everything was on the fly, so mabilisan lahat. We did not have any of those things.
Is this gentleman, Gary Wong, the senior assistant and the director of the Ministry of Trade of Singapore?
No, I really know when we met each other, he seemed like a businessman talaga, more like a trader. But in terms of what type of company or
And how did you get in touch with him when you were on the land?
WhatsApp.
What's up?
Yeah, the app WhatsApp.
I know. APP, what's up, right?
Yeah.
And just from WhatsApp, all of a sudden, like Rose Nonolin, he has a car, she has a car in her garage. Nagugulot na lang siya, may kotse sa garage. And just like that, you are very lucky people. Lalabas, napapautang ka kagad na nabibigyan ka ng pera ng isang tao na you only met once. Is that what you would have us believe?
That's the truth, Your Honor.
Well, the truth hurts, doesn't it? Having said that, the credibility is shrinking, and I think mabuti nakakover yung face mo. I hope your nose isn't extending for every lie that you tell us, like Pinocchio. Anyway, it's important for you to realize that there's no way out of here except, we either go after you, and really, as you can see, we are unraveling all these things. And if you cooperate, maybe, hopefully, may leniency sa'yo, but that will be up to the courts. But you are the principal man here. You are the key sa Pharmally. Kayo ni Lincoln Ong. And of course, Grace Mago was your one. Now, would you agree now? Do you know where the boxes are?
I really don't know because I haven't been home since I left for the US.
And you were going to leave and bahala na si Batman doon sa mga boxes. You were just going to leave. Bahala na si Batman. What did you say? Why did you run away?
I did not run away. As mentioned, I went there to do the pamanikan for my sister.
You ran away because you never appeared. You ran away from the meeting while we were having the meeting. And then you never showed up. And then before you know it, you chose Davao conveniently to get out. So, okay, whatever you say is all under question, right? You cannot blame us. Now, if we get those boxes, Mr. Lincoln Ong, alam ba ni Grace Mago yan?
Mr. Chairman, I do not know. I really
You
do
do not
not
know.
know. I'm here for
Grace
more than
Mago
2
to
months already.
the stand. Is Grace Mago there?
Yes po. Good evening po, Mr. Chairman.
O, Crisel, sino nagbalot ng mga boxes na sinasabi nila?
Actually, Mr. Chairman, this is the first time na narinig ko about the boxes because I resigned mid-September po. And at that time, wala wala pong instructions na magbalot ng boxes or anything po. And then for the whole month of September, I was also in isolation dahil nga po nag-positive ako for COVID-19.
Well, let me ask you, whatever happened to the girlfriend of Mr. Nargani, si Mohit? Yung flight stewardess na ginawa niya ng corporation, kasosyo ka pa.
Opo, Mr. Chairman, hindi na po kami nag-usap.
Custodio.
Opo, si Miss Custodio po, hindi na po kami nag-usap after po ng testimonies ko sa Senate regarding the face shield issue po.
You know, Crisel, you're subject to you were lying here and you chose a forum, you went to this Congress, pero pinapapasama mo pa kami na inaapi ka rito. Hindi ka namin inaapi. Ikaw mismo ang nagsabi na nagansyo nyo ang gobyerno, na loko nyo yung gobyerno. As mo din ka doon sa mga congressman na hindi naman lahat ng congressman nandun, yung ilang iilan, yung si Marcoleta, yun ang nagsasalita doon. At I'm sorry, you just seem to be landing with the wrong company, with the wrong crowd. You don't know. We were really worried about you when you didn't show up. I asked all the nuns in St. Paul's. My wife went to St. Paul's, and we asked all the nuns. We asked the teachers of my wife to look for you and to try and find out where you are. But no, wala. What can you say about that?
Mr. Chairman, I'm very thankful po sa inyong concern. Nalaman ko din po sa aking parents about that when I got into contact to them again pagkapasok ko po sa House of Representatives. Hindi po ako aware at the time na wala pa po ako sa House about your efforts po contacting the nuns of St. Paul and having them connect with my parents and my family po for my safety and my well-being. Papasalamat po ako sa inyong efforts at sa inyong pag-alala po para sa akin.
That was really sincere on our part. Believe in me. I'm I practice to try. You just don't happen to be compassionate overnight. I may have a tough veneer, but deep down in me, ang compassion was brought to me by my mother, who's been in the Red Cross for 63 years, and out of deep concern, because I have also children. No? But why would you now, when you went to Congress, why would you sasabihin mo, binabawi mo yung sinabi mo? Binawi mo ba talaga yun o sinabihan ka lang nila na kailangan ito sabihin mo? Ano ba talaga?
Mr. Chairman, I said...
Remember that you perjured yourself when you did that, huh?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I am aware of the threat to perjury. But,
it's not a threat, it's a fact.
Yes.
Nobody's threatening you.
I said my piece at the House of Representatives and I stand by my statement.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to change anything. It is what it is. On the face of it, again, the credibility of practically all the people in Pharmally has really gone out of the window, especially with you, because I didn't expect that to happen to you, that you would change your testimony. And then I can replay it for you. Were you forced by me or were you forced by anybody to say those words?
Hindi po, Mr. Chairman.
You were not forced. And yet you said it, right? Tapos na yan. Okay, it's water under the bridge. I can understand the concern of some of your friends, so they brought you to Congress, which became, akala ninyo, refuge ninyo, natutulungan nila kayo. Hindi na natin mailulusot ito, Iha. Kasi galit na ang buong Pilipinas. Pero nyo, ang laki-laki ng winaldas nitong mga taong ito. Hindi ba dapat maparusahan? Do you think walang pagkakamali itong mga tiga-gobyerno na binigay sa isang kumpanya? Tingnan mo, pare-pareho ang style. 625,000 lahat ang umpisa. Tapos lumalaki ng bilyon, lumalaki ng 100 milyon. Hindi mo ba? So, nagsisimula sa 625,000. Tapos lumalaki ng bilyon-bilyon o 100 milyon. Hindi ka wala tatakot na nangangamba o because you're a well-educated young woman from a very, very good Catholic school na sumasama ka sa mga alias sakin, na yung mga tao na nagkakasakit, na kaya narinig mo yung mga nurses kanina, na hindi sila nasusweldoan. In fact, I told you that before, in a very gentle way. I'd imagine that I still am betting that you are still a very kind-hearted soul. But I'm not gonna ask you to do anything because obviously hindi ka na maka-atras sa sinabi mo. Pero dalawa na yung sinabi mo, hindi ka maka-atras. Hindi na mabubura. Anyway, ang tanong ko sa iyo ngayon, yung mga boxes, pwede ba natin kunin yan? Masamahan ka ng usaha? Kukunin natin yung boxes doon sa opisina kung saan naroon yun? Alam mo ba?
Mr. Chairman, as I said earlier po, I resigned mid-September and
You resigned already?
yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Hindi ko alam yun. Ngayon ko lang narinig yun. I'm sorry. May have been hard of hearing at the time. Nag-resign ka na pala.
Yes po, Mr.
Ba't
Chairman.
ka naman nag-resign?
For personal reasons po, Mr. Chairman.
No, there's no such thing as personal reasons. Could the reason be it became so hot? Ha? Buong Pilipinas pinag-uusapan niya at tinatanong, ba't naman ganon, Crisel? Why? Of all people. You're such a sweet lady, mabait, soft-spoken, educated in the ways of the Lord. Did you find it so hot for you na nakaka-feel ka na ng social pressure doon sa mga nagsasabi? Bakit mo naman ginawa yan? I'm sure there were people like that. And of course, there were other people like the devil who will say, no, panindigan mo yan. Sabihin mo, inaapi ka doon. Tama ba yan?
Well, I do admit, Mr. Chairman, that yun po yung isa sa mga reasons why I resigned po.
You admit that?
Isa po yun sa mga reasons.
Yung maging napakainit, nabing napakahalay na ng reputation for being with Pharmally. Because Pharmally is accused of so many things. Would that be correct?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
So talaga, yes, because nakita mo, nakakahindik-hindik yung ginawa ng Pharmally. Kaya ayaw mo na, kumari lang, lalabas ka na lang. Huwag yun akong guluhin. Kamali ako, napasama ako dyan eh. Ayoko naman sumali dyan eh. Napipilitan lang ako dahil siyempre, social pressure, mabait sa iyo sila. Mabait naman, pagkausap mo ito yung boss mo, ito si Juan eh, napapaiyak pa nga dito. Nagtataka ako, napapaiyak siya, pero nagpahamak sa kapatid niya at nanay niya. Siya. Eh, napahamak ka rin dahil sa kanya. Would that be accurate na talagang ang pressure sa iyo ay napakalaki? Because you got a big break. Napakaganda ng pagkakataon, maganda magsweldo ang Pharmally, mabait sila sa iyo, at nabigyan ka pa ng korporasyon, nabigyan ka pa ng postura. Kaya napipilitan ka ngayon na ayaw mo na kasi lumalabas na talaga ang tunay na pagka-uri nitong kumpanyang ito. Would that be accurate, ma'am? Miss?
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I was only working in good faith.
You were only working in?
Good faith po.
Yeah, of course, everybody starts with good faith. But of course, kung sino kasama mo, you can be influenced. That's why I always tell my children, go with the good guys you learn good things from. Do not learn from somebody who is flashy, na nakikita nyo yumayaman without effort, without working hard. In fact, I have Chinese words for that. Bo choy kang, bo tansya. You don't work, you don't eat. And honest work gives you dignity and pride. Pero hindi mo alam siguro na nangyayari yan. Nung makakalawa mo, sabi mo nga, kahindik-hindik, sabi mo yes, yan ang nangyari, correct? You already answered that. I don't have to get your answer for that. I know that you're caught between possibly some errors in judgment. But there are the errors of the person and the errors of the moment. And you are in a moment where you're swept off your feet, perhaps, maybe not. You were, magaling pala ako. I have self-worth. I'm in this big company, investing in, billions, and now I'm a director of a company. Correct? Di ba? Meron ka nun eh. How old are you again?
I'm 26 po, Mr. Chairman.
26. Wow. Pretty young. And it would appear na from your classmate's point of view, maid lady ka. You're a maid lady. Kumbaga sa amin mga lalaki, we are maid man pagka meron ka na magandang kotse, katulad ni Lincoln Ong. Wala naman may pakitang pera, dala-dalawa Porsche. Meron pang, ano yung isang kotse niya? Yung galing sa England? Ito Land Cruiser ba, Lincoln? Or Range Rover?
Lexus.
Lexus. Sorry. Hindi kasi ako sanay sa mga kotse ganyan. Lexus. So, yun. Even Lincoln Ong, I'm sure he was flattered. He could see the president. He was with a big-time economic advisor of the president. Yeah, kaya ko sinasabi ito, para yung mga nakikinig na bata, huwag kayong masisip-sip o masasak into flashy things. Na lahat yan. Not everything that glisters is gold. You know? Nasubo si Lincoln. Alamang nasubo ko na rin. Kaya nakita mo, you're now caught between statements you made and you said it at the time. You were not under duress. Ginawa mo yan. So, yun lang. Pakiusap ko lang kung tatanong ako, kung maghihingi ako ng tulong, na makuha natin yung mga kon, tatanungin ko muna itong dalawang mga bosses mo na sinasabi, naaawa sila kay Twinkle. Hindi na nga namin tinatanong si Twinkle. Twinkle, you should appreciate that. But that will stop pretty soon unless we get the truth. Because you are responsible whether we like it or not. So, yun lang. Gusto ko sabihin sa inyo. Yes, Senator Lacson, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just to refresh the memory of Ms. Mago, I would like to show a video footage. This is a 1 minute 20-second video footage just to refresh her memory. This occurred upon my interpellation of Ms. Mago. If I may be allowed, Mr. Chairman.
Please, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
No, kanina merong claim, yung napanood nyo naman siguro yung video na pinalabas ni Senator Tiveros, di ba? And your name was commonly mentioned. How would you respond to that?
Mr. Chairman, I would have to watch the video again because I believe there are a few or even more allegations that I'm not sure if I heard it correctly. But then with the regards to the changing of the stickers of the items, my response would be that this was a supply concern. I raised this concern to our management and that was the solution that was given to us.
As a follow-up, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead,
Who
sir.
ordered you to give that instruction to the warehouse man? Since you admitted already that you gave the instruction, now who instructed you to give that instruction? I suppose it was not in your on your own initiative that you gave that instruction, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Who instructed you?
The instructions came from our management po.
Who particularly?
I received the instructions from the PPC management, particularly Mr. Mohit Tergani.
Mr. Chairman, I showed that video because when the House of Representatives took custody of Ms. Mago, she denied. And she even implied that she was intimidated upon our interpellation, upon questioning of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Now, I'd like to ask Ms. Mago, were you intimidated when I was interpellating you? Did you feel intimidated?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
You felt intimidated? The video showed, kita-kita sa video if you were intimidated. I was very cool in my interpellation. Hindi kita tinatapot, di ba? So I intimidated you? Is that what you're saying now?
Certainly there was pressure po, Mr. Chairman.
From me?
For the whole investigation po.
So you lied because you were under pressure? You're not telling the truth? That's what you're telling us now?
Mr. Chairman, I already said my piece po sa House of Representatives.
No. I'm asking you a question. So you felt pressured. You felt intimidated. And that's the reason why you did not tell the truth. You lied in your testimony in the Senate because you felt intimidated. You felt pressured by me. Kindly answer my question.
Mr. Chairman, I did feel pressure po for the whole investigation. At the same time, I was trying not to be evasive and answer questions po kasi there is also a threat of contempt, being cited in contempt kapag evasive po. Maging evasive ako sa mga questions po ng Senate.
So I will repeat my question. You felt pressured, so you did not tell the truth or you told the truth when you said that you were instructed by Mr. Mohit Gargani to change the stickers?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to invoke my right against self-incrimination because I believe this
Dati
question
wala
has a
yan,
threat.
No.
Dati wala yan eh.
I'm only asking you because it's already on video. Did you lie when you answered my question?
Again, Mr. Chairman, I would like to invoke my right against self-incrimination as also advised to me by my legal counsel po because there is a threat to perjury po, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I leave it up to you. Yes, I'd like to yield to the minority leader.
I'm always the last guy. Ms. Mago, I really advise you to. You cannot invoke it anymore because the load of evidence is against you. Nakita naman, kalmadong ka. Tinatanong ka ni Senator Lacson. Wala namang hint na ini-intimidate ka pero kalmadong ka. Sinabi mo, I refer to the management. In fact, you were trying to be evasive. Nahihiya ka siguro. Sabi mo, yung management. And then later on, you said, unaided. You said, he didn't even ask you, sinabi mo ba, sinabi ba sa'yo ni Senator Lacson, si Dargani ba yun? Si Mohit ba? Hindi niya sinabi yan. Ikaw ang nagsabi ng pangalan ni Dargani, correct?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
So I advise you, there's no point. You're safe here. You're safe here. Wala kaming tinatakot sa'yo. For your sake, para you find yourself again, you find your moral compass again, and that is my advice to you. You can have a great future still. Tinatanong ka talo ka na sa parada nakita na kagad yung sinabi mo Kung papakita ko uli yung tinanong kita kung loko mo, swindle mo yung gobyerno. Gado rin ang mo. I don't think you're a congenital liar. Is that the kind of image you want to project? I don't think you want to do that, right? Right?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Ang totoo niya, nape-pressure ka dahil nandiyan kasi isang kumpanya na napilitan ka lang dahil siyempre kasama mo araw-araw yung mga yan. Mababait naman yan Pag nakikita ko si Mojit, mukhang mabait mukhang cowboy. Siguro dapat hindi ka naman na-intimidated. I'm not gonna convince you whatever you want to say. But I don't think you were intimidated. So you have to answer.
Okay.
Under the law, you have to answer.
Opo. Mr. Chairman, I do admit that there was a pressure po for me to respond. That's why, there was a pressure for me to respond directly and of course, yung time constraint po to answer the questions. That's why yung mga naging sagot ko were inaccurate.
Inaccurate?
Opo, and then that's why
But you were the one volunteering the information.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman, I do admit that. But then in my statement in the House, I explained and I expounded on kung bakit po nasabi kong pressured response po yun.
So you really lied. Now you're convincing me that you really lied. Crisel,
Mr. Chairman.
inimbento mo lang yung si Dargani ang nagsabi sa'yo. Ganun ba?
Mr. Chairman.
May I just ask her to answer, Senator Lacson?
Ganon, sinabi niya kasi.
Mr. Chairman, ang instructions po to repack really came from the PPC management, Pharmally management po.
Kaya nga, management nga. Tapos ikaw na rin nag-volunteer ng pangalan ni Mojit Dargani, correct?
Since tinanong po ako, Mr. Chairman, directly kung kanino nga po nanggaling yung instructions that and sinagot ko po yung pangalan ni Mr. Dargani. Actually, that was also inaccurate kasi po, generally, I take instructions from Mr. Mohit. But for the instructions po to repack, it actually came from the Pharmally management. Sa amin pong group chat, nag-agree po sila doon to do the repacking. And ayun din po yung instructions that I took.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's a credible thing, and I advise you to tell the truth because nalulubog ka lalo eh. Yes, Senator Lacson? I'm not giving up
Yes,
on it, but I'll tell you, I
Yeah.
really don't, I really believe that she's lying now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Sabi niya kanina, na-pressure siya na baka ma-charge siya ng perjury. In other words, na-pressure siya magsabi ng totoo. That's the implication of her statement now. Kasi sabi niya, she felt pressured na baka ma-cite siya or ma-charge siya ng perjury. So babalikan ko siya ulit, na-pressure siya na magsabi ng totoo. Hindi siya na-pressure para mag-lie. If at all, na totoo ang sinabi niya, na-pressure siya. Because it doesn't appear that way, Mr. Chairman. As you show on the video, she was very calm. And sabi niyo nga kanina, unaided lahat. I did not even mention the name of Mohit Gargani. In fact, I had no idea who gave her the instruction to replace the stickers. That's the only thing I want to say as of now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And why would she say that anyway? Hindi naman natin sinasabi si Mohit Gargani pa. Siya nagsabi. Hindi mo naman sinabi sa kanya si Mohit Gargani pa. No. I hope you appreciate your position, young lady. Huh? Please. Nasasayangan ako sa'yo. Because you lied. You were not under threat of perjury. You perjured yourself when you said that. Kung talagang totoo yung sinasabi mo. So now, it's like one lie deserves another lie when you go to the other chamber. Anyway, yes, Senator Lisa.
Salamat, Mr. Chairman. For the record lang po, Ms. Mago, bukod dun sa itinanong na nga ni Senpi ngayon na naalala po naming lahat malinaw, sinabi nyo na ginagancho ang gobyerno, sinabi nyo na si Mr. Dargani ang nag-instruct sa inyo palitan yung production date stickers. At naalala ko pa nung finalo up ni Sen Kiko yung tungkol sa video na ipinakita ko, nung sinabi nyo na ginagancho nyo ang gobyerno, may dagdag pa kayong sinabi na wala ring nagpa-prompt sa amin sa inyo. Sabi nyo pa, that cannot be denied. Anyway, para sa akin lang, nagsastand yan Sinabi na rin ni SP of record na yung lahat dito sa Senado. Isang tanong ko lang sa inyo ngayong gabi, Ms. Mago. Bakit kayo umalis sa protective custody ng House of Representatives?
Kaya po ako voluntarily nag-exit from the custody of the House of Representatives, Mr. Chairman, is because I was planning to go back sa province to my family.
And itutuloy niyo pa po ba yung ganong plano?
I do hope so, Mr. Chairman, na makauwi po ako.
I hope so also, Ms. Mago. Bakit kayo naiiyak ngayon?
Because of the reason why I had to leave the protective custody po, Mr. Chairman.
Bakit kayo naiiyak doon sa dahilan nyo? Kung ang balak nyo naman ay umuwi sa probinsya, sa pamilya nyo. Ba't kayo naiiyak
I
doon?
was just thinking of my family po.
Well, I hope na sa pag-uwi nyo sa pamilya nyo, baon nyo yung payo ng aming chairman, si Sendik. No? I think wish naming lahat yon dito sa Blue Ribbon na bago matapos itong aming investigasyon, ilagay nyo lang sa ayos lahat ng testimonya nyo. Kasi parang nagbubuhol-buhol na Sayang talaga. I share the concern of my chairman na mag-ayos talaga kayo on this whole Pharmally fiasco para maging maayos yung pundasyon ng the rest of your life moving forward. I'm sure yun din ang wish ng inyong pamilya para sa inyo. I'm sure yun ang wish ng Polinian community para sa inyo. The community na talagang nag-exert ng efforts kasama ng aming chairman na siguruhin lang na ligtas kayo at I'm sure gusto rin nila na magsabi kayo ng totoo. Hindi kayo magsabi ng mga kasinungalingan. Salamat, Mr. Chairman.
I just want to wrap it up in this. You said that you were appreciative of the fact that I personally showed concern. I talked to all the nuns. I talked to Mother Superior. I talked to Saint Paul Manila. I talked to everybody. I don't have to mention their names. That's, you know why? Do you know why, Chriselle? I did because you said something here that really ruined these people. You said that Mr. Unaided, that Mr. Dargani was the one who instructed you. So nung nawala ka, natakot ako, baka dinukot ka. Ha? Talagang pinapahanap ka namin, pati sa NBI, lahat, sabi namin noon. Respect that naman, no? But nung pinakita ni Senator Lacson yung you were very composed. Hindi na tayo babalik doon. Nakita mo na yan eh. Nakita na namatlayan. Papakita ko naman sa iyo yung tanong ko. Hindi naman kita ini-intimidate. O ito, tingnan mo, pagkatapos magtanong ni Mr. Pangilinan, sige, reverse.
Si Drilon. Unsa mo na Drilon ay?
Sige, okay.
TV ka naman. Pwede ma-TV yung ganong katawan.
Sound. When we're trying to get the tape, I'm following Senator Pangalina's question. Sabi ni Senator Pangilinan, I just made a manifestation. And with the permission of Senator Lacson, sabi niya, I'm just placing on record that she just admitted that they were actually switching. Pinapalit niya, so you were swindling the government. Because that was, as I understand, the instructions of management. Palitan yung expiry date from 2020 to 2021. Tama po ba yun? Sabi mo, Ms. Mago, yes, Mr. Chairman, that is something that I cannot deny. Mabigat yung sinabi mo, that is something na hindi ko kayang i-deny. I cannot deny. Now, continue. So you were swindling the government. Ms. Mago.
I believe so, Mr. Chairman. This was a supply concern. I raised this concern to our management, and that was the solution that was given to us. That is something that I cannot deny.
So you heard your own statement. I cannot deny. And then the words you said afterwards was, I believe so. That is conviction. I believe so. That is something I cannot deny. That is conviction. Hindi ko po maitatanggi yan sa Tagalog. At pag sinabi mo, naniniwala po ako doon. Hindi yung, opo, hindi po hindi. Talagang may description yung sinabi mo. So why? Tama na ako doon. Malinaw na sa nanonood. Tama yung sinasabi sa iyo kanina namin at sinasabi ayusin mo yung buhay mo para mabago pa yung buhay. Pero pag you'll stick there, you're in the dark right now. You're in the wrong place. And I will not ask a question anymore. I don't need to. If you want to say something, you may now say something, Ms. Mago. I'm not gonna ask you. By the way, may kasama ka ba dyan, Iha?
Wala po, Sir Chairman.
Can you take off your mask because namamaffle yung kumama? Ayan, see?
Just an observation.
Kind face. Okay, sige.
Just an observation, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
For the record, Senator Lacson was not even suggesting that it was Mr. Dargani who gave the instruction. All he was asking was, who in management? You were the one who supplied the name of Mr. Dargani. So you cannot even say that name was mentioned because you were intimidated, because Senator Lacson did not supply the name. It was not a leading question that is allowed to be asked. He did not ask a leading question. He asked you who in management, and you could have said any name but you mentioned Mr. Dragani. So it's difficult to believe that you were intimidated or pressured
You
or
volunteered the name, di ba, Senator Prrd? She volunteered the name.
you brought up the name. It was not suggested to you, as we would lawyers suggest on cross-examination. We suggest the name and let the witness concur. In this particular case, Senator Lacson simply said, "Who in management?" And you volunteered the name Mr. Dargani. So it is not credible for you to say that you were pressured, because you could have said any name, but you specified Mr. Dargani. Anyway, that's just for the record, Mr. Chairman. Maliwanag po yan eh.
Yes, I can't help but nod my head. If I'm smiling out of sadness, actually, for you. That's why, you volunteered the name, you were not under any pressure.
Hello?
Yun lang, tama na yan. Do you have anything else to say, Ms. Mago?
Wala po, Mr. Chairman. But again, I want to thank you for your concern and for connecting the Sisters of St. Paul sa family ko po.
You don't have to thank me. That was a sincere act of concern. Ako yun that I move heaven and earth for people, when they ask for corner. But not because you were going to be a witness. I felt that because you said that, I may have put your life in danger. That last question I asked is, so you were swindling the government, Ms. Mago, and you said, the word was, I believe so. You could have just said, yes. No, you said, I believe so. Yeah. And then I said, excuse me, I believe that is the case, Mr. Chairman. Very calmly. No pressure, no intimidation, and you said that. And then all of a sudden, I thought you were, kasi ang dating sa amin, ang report sa akin, meron mga tao na may dalang baril, kaso nataranta ako. So, yun lang po. I hope that you think about it, and I advise you to take counsel among the people you trust. The nuns, I think, I had a cousin who was a nun in St. Paul's. And they really work hard. And they're good people. The nuns in St. Paul's is a very, very strong institution. In your part of the world, in your Cagayan, it's also in Cebu. It's also in many places. Napagkakatiwalaan talaga because talagang nagmamalasakit sa mga yan. So I suggest you find counsel with them and, think about it. Pray on it. I think we can go ahead, Ms. Mago. Just be assured that you can always call me or call the nuns. There was a Father Gordon in Ateneo, but I'm far from being a priest. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me go back to Mr. Dargani now. Shall we?
Just one more question, one or two more questions to Ms. Mago, sir, if you...
Feel free.
Yes, Ms. Mago. Up to now, I could not understand how you just suddenly decided to go to the House of Representatives. What prompted you to do that?
Mr. Chairman, since I was able to compare the environment of investigation from the House of Representatives and from the Senate, and that is one of the reasons why I chose to go sa House of Representatives para po makapagbigay ako ng proper statement regarding my previous testimonies po sa Senate. And yun po, Mr. Chairman.
Para makapagbigay ka ng ibang, I didn't catch you correctly, Kaya kayo pumunta doon sa house para makapagbigay kayo ng ibang statement. Ganun ba ang sinabi niyo?
Ng proper statement po, Mr. Chairman.
Proper statement. Anong ibig sabihin ng proper statement?
For me to explain and expound regarding my previous testimonies po sa Senate, Your Honor.
You saw the video. I don't think you can point to any portion there where the senators tried to bamboozle you into answering. In fact, I will repeat what I earlier stated. When Senator Lacson asked you who in management, you could have said any name, but you were the one who volunteered the name of Mr. Dargani. So how? That's why I cannot understand. After all, I cannot understand how you suddenly agreed to go to the house or decided to go to the house. Sino po ang kilala mo ron sa house?
Wala po, Mr. Chairman. Wala po akong kilala sa House of Representatives.
So, sinong pinuntahan mo doon una? Malaki namang isang buong House of Representatives. Sino ho ang inyong nilapitan?
I wrote a letter to Speaker Velasco po, Mr. Chairman.
And it is on that basis that you went there, sumulat ka.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Ngayon, upon a review of the situation, are you sticking to your statement that you were intimidated in the Senate? Or you were forced by the Senate to testify?
Mr. Chairman, I stand by my statement, opening statement po sa House of Representatives.
That, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that in the House of Representatives.
Yes po, I made a statement regarding the supposed tampering or switching of certificates, as well as my previous statements po regarding the swindling po, and why kung bakit po sa kanila ako nagbigay ng statement.
So what made you decide to get out of the house and come back here?
As stated earlier po, Mr. Chairman, I was under their custody for a month and a half. And even if it is a voluntary custody, I still chose to go back to my family.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Hindi ko po, Mr. Chairman, na bumalik po sa probinsya and be with my family.
Okay. Sir, I have no more I have no more questions on the witness, unless our other colleagues have questions.
Next, December 31.
Mr.
I had an important phone call. I really am perplexed. But anyway, we may have to ask you some questions. These are not going to be easy questions later on, Ms. Mago, because obviously, talagang sinasabi mo, hindi ka naman lahat kami. Pag pinakita sa buong mundo yun, hindi ka naman na-intimidate kay Senator Lacson. Hindi ka naman na-intimidate ka ba kay Senator Pangilinan? You cannot nod you cannot shake your head. You have to answer. You have to unmute.
Hindi naman po, Mr. Chairman. Sorry.
Hindi. Ba't ka naman ma-intimidate kay Senator Lacson? Nakita ko, magalang naman, mga mo, di ba? Hindi kaya dahil, kung loyalty sa company, believe ako sa iyo. Pero, you could have said, I cannot answer that. Wala naman ako nakita. Hindi. Nag-volunteer ko ng statement Hindi ko maintindihan how a young lady like you, sweet as you are, and I wanted to make sure that I see your face when you answer these questions, because pag nakamask, ibang tingin mata lang ang nakikita And pag tinatanong ka doon sa house, medyo may stutter ka ng konti. Because you went there because probably somebody asked you, somebody told you to be brought there. Because alam ko how it works. I've been in the government, Frank Rilon has been in the government, Ping Lacson has been in the government for a long time. Pagka may nagkamaling ganyan, hahabulin, i-rectify. Sometimes abduct para baliktarin. Sometimes kung ano nung gagawin. But I never thought that you were abducted. But ang thinking ko ng araw baka kasalanan ko kung may nangyari sa'yo. That's why we try to move heaven and earth. Pero ngayon, wala na yan wala na yung pressure na yan And perhaps ang loyalty mo doon sa kumpanya, yung mga kasama sa kumpanya, siguro ayaw mo po proteksyonan ka dyan. Kasama natin na malalaking tao dyan. Hindi kaya gano'n?
Hindi naman po, Mr. Chairman.
Hindi gano'n. Yun ang problema natin, di ba? We now have a problem. Sa Senate, there is perjury, correct? You lied to Senator Lacson. You lied to Senator Pangilinan. You lied to me. I never told you na ginansyo mo ang gobyerno, niloko mo ang gobyerno. I said, I just asked you. And point blank, and you said, I believe so. And you were very emphatic. Unless you're a chameleon. Are you a chameleon? You can pretend?
Hindi po, Mr. Chairman.
Well, because nakakapagtaka yun ang problema natin, di ba? Ang problema natin ngayon you are susceptible to being brought to justice because of what you've done. You know why I'm very concerned? Because ito, alam debatehan ito 2-3 weeks ago. Yung perjury, binago namin yung law. Binago namin yung law. Tinaasan dahil sabi natin, we want to have an honest country. Masyadong madaling magsinungaling even government officials. Kaya pag government officials, 10 years ang pataw. Di ba, Senator Ping? 10 years ang pataw. Pagka ordinary people, 6 years. Dati, mababa lang, di ba? Dati, ilang years? 2 years ba? Fortunately. Naging 6 years and 1 day. Dati, 4 months and 1 day to 2 years and 4 months. Tama ako. Kaya marami nagsisinungaling, hindi natatakot. Ngayon, tinaas namin para magkaroon tayo ng culture of honesty in our country. Matakot lang, ma-intimidate ng tao na huwag ka magpe-perjure. Because we should be an honorable country. We're defining ourselves. We want to make sure na hindi mangyayari yan. So naging 6 years and 1 day. Pero pagka ikaw, 6 years and 1 day to 10 years, pero pagka ikaw ay public official, may perpetual disqualification pa, may fine not to exceed 1 million pa, at maximum ang account. Alright? So having said that, you know where we're all coming from. I authored that bill, by the way, as Committee on Justice. So, I'm sure you know, hindi ko naman pinili maging Blue Ribbon Chairman. Sa akin binigay ito. Hindi ko hinihingi yan. Sakit ng ulo yan. Yung Committee on Justice, nahulog na lang sa akin nung nawala sa Senator De Lima. Naging 3 committee ko. Pagod na pagod ako sa dami ng committee na pinapahirapan kami. Kaya nga, concerned ako sa iyo To be very frank, I'm looking at you as a lost soul. A lost generation. And I mean it. All right? Yes, Senator Dillon. I don't know whether you're waving at me because go ahead.
No, Mr. Chairman, when after Ms. Mago testified in the Senate, I could not have imagined that remedy, if we call it a remedy, of going to the House of Representatives allegedly for protection. If I were advising her, I would not. That would be the last thing I will do. Go to the other political body. I would have asked her, okay, go to, say, the Department of Justice or go to the executive branch. But hindi ko po maisip-isip na magpupunta kayo sa sa house. In fact, I may be wrong and my memory may fail me, but I do not know of any other similar incident in the past na panggaling dito sa Senado, pupunta doon because you're seeking protection of the other house as if as if there was a basis. But anyway, having said that, who advised you to go to the House of Representatives?
It was my decision, Mr. Chairman. I wrote personally to Speaker Velasco po. And then at that time, wala pa po akong legal counsel. So I had to talk to Pharmally's legal counsel po for assistance.
You had to talk to the legal counsel of Pharmally. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. But I informed...
Who is the legal counsel of Pharmally that you talked to?
It was Attorney Kapunan po.
Attorney?
Kapunan.
Who? I'm sorry, Attorney
Don Kapunan po, Your Honor.
Attorney Kapunan. And Attorney Kapunan, what did he advise you? Ano sinabi sa'yo?
He reviewed my letter po to Speaker Velasco. He helped me po na email po yun kay Speaker Velasco, and then nag-advise din po siya sa akin kung ano yung mga magiging, if possible po na mag-grant yung aking request for protective custody, kung ano yung mga advantages and disadvantages po. Mr. Chair.
So you're saying Attorney Kapunan was the one who advised you to go to the House after the Senate hearing, ganoon po ba?
Hindi po, Mr. Chairman. I talked to Attorney Don. I told him I prepared a letter addressed to Speaker Velasco. He reviewed the letter for me po.
You told him you wrote a letter and then they reviewed the letter.
Opo, I prepared a letter, tapos ni-review niya po yun, Mr. Chairman. At the same time, binigyan niya rin po ako ng advice.
Why of all agencies of the government did you think of the House of Representatives?
At that time, Mr. Chairman, they were doing a parallel investigation with the Senate. And I also compared the environment po ng investigation. With all due respect to the Senate committee po.
And you will stick to your statement that you were coerced by mentioning Mr. Dargani's name?
I will stick to my statement, Mr. Chairman, that it was a pressured response.
You were pressured to say it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, po, Mr. Chairman.
You have seen the video, an impartial person would look at that video and will never believe what you're saying, because in fairness to Senator Lacson, he did not prompt you to mention the name of Mr. Dargani. All he asked you was, who in management gave you the instructions? And you were the one who blurted out Mr. Dargani's name. Isn't that a fact?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
So how can you say that you were intimidated into, or you were coerced or whatever, into blurting out Mr. Dargani's name when his name was not even mentioned? Kayo ho po ang sabi sa pangalan niya.
Opo. Mr. Chairman, actually there was a pressure, at the same time constraint po to answer the questions. And in my experience working under Pharmally, generally po talaga I take instructions from Mr. Dargan. That's what prompted me to say his name. But in that case po, it's really from the management. So I also made that clear in my statement sa House of Representatives.
The best evidence, Mr. Ma'am, is the video shown. And nobody will believe that you were intimidated. Now you are saying that you were intimidated. In effect, you are saying that you were intimidated. But the video will prove otherwise. And there is no better evidence than the way you answered the question, and therefore I couldn't believe that there is. I will vote in the committee report to say that you were telling the truth when you answered that question. Now you're saying you were not telling the truth. Is that what you're telling us?
I stand by my statements.
No. I ask you a specific question. Were you telling the truth or were you telling the lie when you mentioned Mr. Dargani?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to I just stand by my statements at the House of Representatives po, Mr. Chairman.
I ask you a specific question. Were you telling us the truth or were you lying when you mentioned the name of Mr. Dargani on your own volition?
It was an inaccurate response po, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So answer my question. Were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie when you mentioned on your own account Mr. Dargani as the one who instructed you?
Mr. Chairman, please allow me po to explain because I said
Yes.
instructions came from the PPC management and Mr. Dargani is part of the PPC management. But on the part na I specified Mr. Dargani's name, that was inaccurate po.
Were you telling the truth or were you lying?
Sa part po that I said the instructions came from the PPC management, I was
Kailangan
telling
mo
the
ba tanungin
truth.
yun?
Okay.
When I mentioned Mr. Dargani's name, I cannot say that is a lie because he's part of the PPC management po, Mr. Chairman, but it was inaccurate for me to mention.
So you were telling the truth when you mentioned Mr. Dargani because he is part of management.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman. He is part of the management.
Pinapahaba mo pa eh. Tinatanong namin kayo kung yun ang totoo. Eh, haba-haba pa ng mga tanong ko bago ko sabihin na totoo yung sinabi mo. That you were telling the truth. Because if you tell us that you are telling a lie, you'll have problems. That is the question raised to you by Senator Lacson, I repeat, did not specify Mr. Dargani. It was a question who in management. You know, you could have said any other name. You could have mentioned any other name, but you specified Mr. Dargani, and you were telling the truth, right?
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry for the confusion po. But
What?
I'm sorry for the confusion po, Your Honor. But the instructions really came from the PPC management. That is the
Correct. It came from the PCC from the Pharmally management, and when you were asked who in management, kayo po nanggaling sa bibig ninyo, Dargani.
Yes, I recognize po na sa akin po nanggaling yung statement that I specified Mr. Dargani's name. But as I mentioned po, that was actually inaccurate. Kasi in my scope of work sa Pharmally, generally I would really take instructions from Mr. Dargani. That is what prompted me to say his name po when I was asked to specify. Because from what I remember po, twice po ako tinanong who gave the instructions. And I answered twice PPC management po. But then I was asked to specify.
Because management is not a person. Management, when they give you instructions, it is through a personality. And when you ask who was that person, you said Mr. Dargani. You know, paulit-ulit ka lang tayo. I'll yield the floor to Senator Lacson. Yeah.
When you mentioned a name, a particular name,
Ba't kasi nilulit-ulit mo? Alam mo naman na tinanong
ang
na
ibig mo
kanina
sabihin, hindi ka sigurado
Kaya lalong tumatagal
when you mentioned the name Mohit Dargani, or you were under pressure to mention that name?
Tinanong na nga eh. Paulit
But who supplied to you that name Mohit Dargani?
Mr. Chairman, actually there was a pressure to specify a name because dalawang beses po ako tinanong and I answered twice as well that it was the PPC management po. And ayun nga po, on my scope of work on my whole duration of work sa Pharmally, usually generally po talaga instructions come from Sir Mohit. So, yun po yung nag-prompt sa akin to mention his name. But that was an inaccurate response po. I did not intend to lie, but there was pressure involved.
You could have mentioned Lincoln Ong because Lincoln Ong is also part of PPC management, di ba?
Yes po, he is part of the PPC management.
You could also have mentioned the name Twinkle Dargani kasi part din siya ng PPC management. And all the other people in management ng Pharmally Pharmaceutical, di ba?
Yes.
But you specifically mentioned the name Mohit Dargani. Tapos you also mentioned because of time constraint. Kindly explain what you meant by time constraint kaya ka napilitan na magsabi ng pangalan. Anong ibig mong sabihin doon sa time constraint?
Opo. Because usually when asked the question, you expect answers from us directly po.
No, I wasn't expecting a quick answer from you.
Yes po,
I was very deliberate. I was waiting for you to answer the question, but I wasn't, forcing you to make a quick response to my question. That's pretty obvious in my questioning. Hindi ko naman sinabing, bilisan mo. Hindi ko naman sinabing, I want the answer now. Wala akong sinasabing ganon. In fact, I was patient. I was very patient in waiting for your response because I wanted it to come from you and voluntarily. Obvious naman doon sa video eh. Yung video won't lie, hindi yan spliced ha. Just like now, I'm very patient waiting for your response. No, I'm not forcing you to respond immediately. You think it over. Even for a few minutes, you can think it over and give us an honest response.
So out of respect po to the committee, I wanted to answer questions without having to extend po yung time ninyo to wait for my answer. At the same time, there is also a threat, no, for me being cited in contempt. Kasi nga po, nakita ko po yung nangyari kay Mr. Lincoln Ong during the earlier stages po ng investigation, and ayoko rin naman po mangyari yun sa akin, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Mago, nung tinatanong ba kita, sinabi ko sa iyo na pagka hindi tama ang sagot mo, pwede ka ma-cite for contempt. Meron ba ako sinabing ganon? Wala, di ba?
Mr. Chairman, but that was on my part. That was on my mind.
Don't quite get it, Mr. Chairman.
Alam mo, tama yung sinabi ni Senator Dillon sa iyo na bakit ka pupunta sa Kongreso, hindi ka naman namin inapi. Doon ka magbabago ng sagot. At kung talaga natuturete yung utak mo doon sa nangyari, siguro, no? Nagalit ba si Mr. Dargani na binanggit mo yung pangalan niya? Di ba kayo nag-usap? Di ka tinawagan?
Nag-usap po kasi, Mr. Chairman.
Ha? Nag-usap kayo? Tama, nag-usap kayo, di ba?
Okay.
Sinabi niya, ba't mo naman ako sinabi? Di ba? As natural as water. Tama? You nodded your head. Tama yan, di ba? Ba't mo naman ako sinabi?
Not in that way, Mr. Chairman. But
What way then? What way?
Una po, napag-usapan namin to review the video kasi po there were allegations that were unanswered or hindi po na hindi po namin gano'n nakuha during the investigation. And also, nabanggit din po na regarding po na ini-specify ko po yung name niya when I was asked kung sino po yung nagbigay ng instructions.
Ano sinabi niya?
Sabi po sa akin is we have to check our records kung sino po ba talaga ang nagbigay ng instructions.
Well, forgive me, I'm sorry. Siyempre, napakaselan ng sinabi mo, si Dargani ang nag-utos sa'yo. Siyempre, ang feeling yan, galit, o disappointed, or in disbelief, hindi nyo sasaliksikin yung record. Ang sabi niya, sir, bakit naman gano'n, Margo? I've been good to you. Bakit naman gano'n? Di ba? Bakit naman ipapahamak mo ko? Wala naman akong kasalanan dyan. Siguro, sasabihin niya siguro, di ba? Nagbabangong puli siya. Tama ba yun? Ano ba? Sinabi, chinismis ka ng kaibigan mo, yung si Sophie, na hindi mo na nakikita, chinismis ka. Hindi mo ba pupuntahan si Sophie? Si Sofia Custodio? Kasi mo sa kanya, ba't wala naman ako chinismis? Di ba? Yan ang tatanungin mo, right? At, just answer my question, please.
Well, nag-usap po kami ni Mr. Dargani.
Answer my question. Kinausap ka ba agad at sinabi niya, bakit naman ganon?
Hindi po agad, Mr. Chairman. We talked the day after the hearing po.
The day after. Alam mo, napakaseryoso ng remark mo. Yung bang you swindled the government. Swindling is a estafa. Alright? That's a charge. I didn't pick that from thin air. So you swindled the government. And you said it not just once, but twice. You said, I believe so. And then you repeated it, I believe so. Try to be the good girl that I think you are. Huwag mong isipin yung mga yan. Hindi ka niya asikasuhin later on. But you have to live with yourself after this, young lady. Pick up your life, sabi nga ni Senator Risa. Because hindi ka panipaniwala na hindi magagalit sa iyo na sinabi mo, pinahamak mo yung kumpanya, pinahamak mo ko. Di ba? What did he actually tell you? Not the following day. He would have told you right away. He would have called you on the phone. See? Hindi mo maikakailayan dahil we are going to go closer and closer to the truth, and you'll have to step back until you're no longer have any place to step back, and you're going to fall from the precipice of lies. The very fact that you went to the Congress, you did not talk to your mother, correct? You did not talk to your father, right?
Hindi rin.
You did not seek advice from your confessor, if you have any. How can you think about it, Crisel? How can you think na, pupunta ako doon? Ba't ka pupunta doon? Para kukorekt mo yung statement mo na lamang kay Dargani. Siguro sinabi ni Dargani, di ba pumunta ka talaga sa Congress? Mas kaibigan natin yung mga yon. At doon ka magsabi at panindigan mo na yon. But you already lied, young lady. Magsinungaling ka na kung totoo yung sinasabi mo na hindi accurate yung sinabi mo. I don't understand what you mean by accurate, actually. What do you mean? Sinabi mo unaided. You volunteered it to Mr. Lacson. You volunteered it to me. Why would you go? Ilang araw yun after? A week later? 3 days later? Siyempre, the empire strikes back. See, that's how people are looking at it. Kagantihan ka. Kailangan sabihin mo, pinahamak mo kami, kailangan bawiin mo doon. So, yun sinasabi ko, di ba? You're a smart girl. You know better. Why would you do it by yourself? And can you imagine? You lie there and then you come back here and you try to make us believe that was the truth that you said in Congress. Ipipilit mo sa amin na na-intimidate ka sa amin. That's not right. You're committing another sin. Hindi po ba? You're correcting it with another lie. You cannot do that forever. If you're gonna correct yourself, now is the time to correct yourself. Now, right now. I'm not trying to, it's akin, it's obvious eh. If you want to live with that lie, that's up to you. But it's obvious. I'm just trying to give you some friendly advice. Because hindi natural in the course of things pag may sinabihan ka. Ay, siya naguto sa akin eh. Sinabi mo yun? Ba't mo sinabi naman yun? Naku naman, Crisel, ba't mo sabihin yun? Wala naman ako kinalaman niya. Bakit? Tapos, sabi mo, hindi ka sinabihan niya. Tapos pupunta ka na lang mag-isa, pupunta ka sa kongreso. Yun ang sasabihin mo. Sino maniniwala doon? Kung may problema ka, if you're conflicted, you would have gone to your parents. I don't know how close you are. Or to a friend. You were close to Sophia, right?
Hindi po gana, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, magkasama kayo doon sa kumpanyang ginawa ni Mojit eh. Di ba girlfriend ni Mojit si Sophia? Tingnan mo si Sophia, nagtago na. Because she's living a lie as well. Tumakbo si Dargani. Because he is living a lie. Twinkle is living a lie. They're running away because they're lying. And from the very beginning, when I first saw you, kung makakantahan pa ka the first time I ever saw your face, right away, ang bilis mo sumagot. Sabi mo, nagpadala ng ano yan? RFQ, si Juan, at kagad-agad sinagot mo. Sinagot mo kagad and you delivered the following day. Oh, ano ibig sabihin nun? I can't believe it. Nasasabi mo sa amin na you did it on your own. Sorry, Risa, I just want to finish. I'm on cross right now. It's taking you a long time to think because you know what you did was wrong. The record states that you're taking a long time. Pero kanina, kung pinakita yung film sa'yo, sagot ka kagad. Sagot ka kay Mr. Lacson. Sabi mo, sino sa management, sabi mo, kagad, walang isip na matagal, walang hesitation. Nung tinanong kita, so you swindled the government. I believe so. Very categorical. I believe so. Wow. You volunteered the name of Mr. Dargani. Nobody squeezed you for anything. And now, it's taking you a long, long time to think. Nag-iisip ka. Ano bang gagawin ko? Ano bang tama akong gagawin? Will I let Mr. Dargani down? Will I let the company down? Hindi, yan ang pumapasok sa'yo. At pag hindi mo naman binawi, talo ka pa rin eh. Sinungaling ka sa kaliwa, sinungaling ka sa kanan. You cannot win everything. Yeah.
Tama.
Is that how you want to be remembered by your sisters? By your classmates? By your friends? By your teachers in St. Paul's? By the nuns? Is that how you want to be remembered?
Sermonan tuloy ito.
I can see you shaking your head. I know you don't want to be remembered that way. I think there is good in you. I don't know why I'm trying to do this to you. I'm trying to save your statement, your future. It's up to you, really. Now, I ask you again. Kasi ang sinasabi mo, even the way you answer, sabi mo, not accurate. Hindi mo sinabi, no, I did not say that. Hindi totoo yung sinabi ko. You say, it's not accurate. Nagpapalusot ka pa eh. That's how it starts. A lie starts that way. Paunti-unti, a little lie becomes a bigger lie, and then becomes a lie and a lie and a lie. Now you're lying on one side, then you went to the other side, you're lying, and then you come back here, and you expect us to believe. No more. So now is the time for you to clean up the slate. You're thinking, and that's, di ba? Hindi na mabilis ang pagsagot mo. Now, actually, tatanungin kita, ano pala ang accurate? Not accurate yung sinabi mo kay Dargani. Ano pala ang accurate? Ba't mo sinabi yung pangalan? Accurate yun eh. Di ba accurate? Dargani. Accurate. Niloko niyo ang gobyerno. Sinuwinder niyo ang gobyerno. Sabi mo, I believe so. Accurate. Ngayon sinasabi mo sa amin, hindi accurate yung sinabi ko. Ano pala ang accurate sa iyo? Sir.
Mr. Chairman, it was the Pharmally management who gave me the instruction regarding the repacking.
Even that is condemnatory already, Iha. When you say Pharmally management said so, Pharmally management, sino ang presidente? Twinkle Gargani, correct?
Yes po, last year, Mr. Chairman.
Corporate Secretary and Treasurer, Mr. Gargani, right?
Yes po.
So when you say management, kasama si Ligonom. So condemn na yung Pharmally sa sinabi mo. Pero kailangan baguhin mo dahil you volunteered without any aid or without any prodding from any of us. Sinabi mo, Dargani, Mojit Dargani. Then inulit mo pa, kaya hindi ka na maka-atras eh. Napaka-definitive yung mga sagot mo ngayon. Wala, malasado na ang sagot mo. Accurate. Accurate. Accurate is truth. Accurate is Dargani. Not accurate is what? Nasabi mo, Pharmally, the whole universe of Pharmally? A company that is involved, yung mga tao, yung mga leader niyan, in another company called Pharmally that swindled 50 million? Is that how you want to be remembered by your sister, your brothers, sabi mo kapatid, by your mother, your father, your classmates from St. Paul's? You know why I keep doing that? Because my wife came from St. Paul's. She would wake up in the morning, she had to go up and line up for breakfast. Otherwise, may iwanan siya, wala matitira sa kanya. And there was a big mother there that made sure that everybody toed the line. Did the values that we were being taught. You are that woman. You are like that. Now, tell me the truth this time. Expunge yourself of the lies that you've made. That's why we all go to confession at some point in our life. Act of contrition. What's the line there? The last few lines. I promise, to confess my sins, yeah? You make confession.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Now that's confession, Father Kimbo. You're wrong. Sa act of contrition nakalagay.
To pray for me to the Lord our God.
To sin no more. To confess my sins and to sin no more. Di ba? That's the essence of confession. Hindi yung penance. 10 Hail Marys. No. To sin no more. To amend my life. Every day I pray that before I go to sleep. I can easily recite the whole prayer too, but when I pick it up, marami kasing sinasabing ganyan eh. Come on, Miss, even now I still have faith na there is good inside you. I don't want you to be remembered by your classmates or by your friends or by your school. Habang nagsasalita tayo dito, lumalaki yung image mo na you lied. How can you lie on one side and the next 3 days you lie on the other side and then you come back here and you now say, it was inaccurate? Wrong. You don't exculpate yourself. You don't solve the problem. It will haunt you. And this is your opportunity to expand yourself. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal of it. Maybe I'm trying to save your principles for you. Kanina pa ako nag-give up. Actually, sabi ko, wala ka kung yan ang gusto mo. I mean, why should I sweat over it? It's not gonna change me. Did it damage our case? No. Kita mo, ang dami ng sinabi, hindi nagbabayad ng buwis, ang dami-dami. All these people, Michael Young, they live a lie. You want to be part of that genre? Do you?
No po, Mr. Chair.
No. Try to see your way clear. I ask you, did Dargani talk to you or any member from Pharmally? Bakit mo naman sinabi yun? Kaya ka napunta sa Kongreso. It's not important to me anymore. I just want it for you, not for me. You have to see it yourself. Nobody can force you to it. Nobody can guide you. I remember Father Gorospe would say, if a man is good, it's because he wants to be good. If a man is bad, it's because he wants to be bad. Which are you? What do you want to be? A truth teller or a liar? Because the facts show you lied here and probably you lied in the lower house. You can no longer say, no, wala na eh, may lie na eh. And the fact of the matter is, it's more accurate to say, yung sinabi ko, dahil napakita, kahit saan ko pakita yung mga tape na yon, ang conclusion will remain. You were not prodded, you were not intimidated. Nobody put the fear of God in you, nobody put the fear of the police in you. Alam mo, pag nag-threaten ka, talo ka na eh. I don't make idle threats. Pag sinabi ko, gagawin ko na kagad. Okay, Rizal? In truth and in fact, you were told by Mr. Dargani to retract your statement. True or false? Answer me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I cannot answer that question without seeking advice from my legal counsel.
See, when you say that, again, without seeking legal counsel, that means you don't want to volunteer na this information. See? It leads to another lie na naman because you don't want to tell the truth. Okay? That's the way it is.
Sir?
Yes.
Just,
Thank you. Senator, I'm sorry, Senator Kiko, I think, Senator, I have to tell the truth. I saw Senator Risa ahead, and I even said I was on cross-examination. Go ahead, please, Senator Risa.
Oh, salamat, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to make of record that Ms. Mago confirmed for the second time na nagpapalit ng certificate ang Pharmally. So, nagtatalo lang sino sa PPC management ang nag-instruct, but she confirmed yung pagpapapalit ng certificate for the second time. And a last question, Mr. Chairman, for Ms. Mago. Ms. Mago, di ba nag-testify na kayo sa amin dati dito sa Senado? And then umalis kayo rito, pumasok kayo sa custody ng house, nagbigay kayo ng statement doon. And then for a time, umalis kayo sa custody doon, nag-alala na naman kaming lahat. And but today, andito kayo ulit sa hearing namin dito sa Senado. Meron ba kayong gustong sabihin sa amin, Ms. Mago, na hindi nyo pa nasabi sa amin dati dito sa Senado? Meron ba kayong gustong sabihin na hindi nyo nasabi sa House? That's why you're here again. Nakikinig kami. We want to know if there's anything else you want to tell us.
For now, wala po, Your Honor. But I was invited again to attend the hearing and ayoko naman po i-ignore yung invitation to attend this hearing. That's why I am here po.
Sabi nyo for now. Well, if ever in the future, I hope there will still be an opportunity na masabi nyo sa amin at sa bayan natin kung meron ka pang gusto sanang sabihin. That's all. Ms. Mago, salamat. Salamat, Mr. Chair, and salamat kay Sen Kiko for allowing me to make that manifestation and to pose my last question for Ms. Mago before him. Salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, if I may just raise a few points. Well, yes, earlier the chairman said that after Senator Ontiveros, I can proceed. So, Ms. Maga, good evening, no?
Good evening po, Your
Ikaw ba, meron, kanina, nag-iisip ka man ng matagal mo. Hindi na ako masusurpresa kung merong pumilit sa'yo, tinakot ka, tinakot ang pamilya mo para mag-iba ang iyong salaysay. Would you tell this committee if you were pressured or threatened or that you are afraid to say something or whatever you feel like saying because of fear for your life or the welfare of your family?
I would inform the committee if there is, Mr. Chairman, pero wala naman po.
So walang preso na natanggap. Ang preso na natanggap mo sa amin dito sa Senado. Tama po ba 'yon? Kami ang sabi mo kasi you were pressured, di ba? You were tama?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
That's why you said what you said, even if reviewing the video, mukha namang wala namang pressure. At least that's our, the view of a number of us here in the Senate. Because wala naman talaga. Ikaw mismo nagsabi nung freely, di ba? Binanggit mo na sinagot mo yung mga tanong. But anyway, on another point, just a manifestation. Sana parang just to reiterate perhaps the point raised earlier by Senator Gordon. Bata ka pa, lahat tayo nagkakamali. Maaring meron kang kakulangan at meron kang pagkakamali. Mabuting mapag-isipan mo, no? Dahil sa konteksto ng mga pangyayari sa ating bansa ngayon, di ba, libo-libo na ang namatay, no? Milyon na ang nagkasakit, di ba? Tapos maraming, di ba, wala nang panggastos sa ospital. Patuloy yung takot, di ba? Parang siguro baka pwede mo rin isipin, no? Baka ito yung pagkakataon para makorek yung mga pangyayari sa pamamagitan ng iyong pagboluntaryong magsabi ng katotohanan. Para hindi na maulit. Kasi nga sabi nga ni Senator Ontiveros kanina, hindi mo naman deny na nagpalit ng mga expiry date. Hindi mo lang sinasabi kung sino ang nag-utos noon. Pagka ganun ng kalakaran, parang ang nangyari rito sa halip na unahin yung matigil yung COVID, parang inuuna yung paano pagkakakitaan ng COVID. Di ba? Yung ba ang gusto mong di ba? Sa sarili mo, di ba? Na ikaw naging kasangkot at kasabwat at kasama sa mga transaksyon na sa halip na sugpuin ng COVID sinamantala ang COVID at pinagkakitaan ang COVID. I mean, you can disagree with me, pero something to think about, di ba? Kasi naalala ko, nung kami mga bata, laging pinag-uusapan yung panahon ng hapon ng aking mga magulang. Napaka-defining nung panahon ng hapon, di ba? Ba't ko sinasabi yun? Kasi palagay ko pagdating nung panahon, ikaw ba you're not married, no? You're still single, no?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
So siguro darating ang panahon, magkakaroon ka ng pamilya, di ba? Kakaroon ka ng anak. Ang pag-uusapan naman ng mga anak natin at mga apo namin, yung panahon ng pandemya. Di ba? At pag-uusapan, anong ginawa mo nung panahon ng pandemya? Di ba? Siyempre, ang kwentuhan, wala, lockdown kami, wala kaming magawa, talaga ano. O kaya yung kwento, mahirap, masakit, ang daming namatay. Sa'yo, itanong mo sa sarili mo, anong ginawa mo nung panahon ng pandemya? Baka tanongin sa'yo ng anak mo in the future. Ako, pag tinanong sa akin in the future, anong ginawa ko nung panahon ng pandemya? Sasabihin namin, ginawa namin ng paraan na yung panggastos ng pondo para masugpo yung at hindi malustay, ginawa namin ng paraan. It's something to think about. No? I know hindi madali. I know, I've seen a lot of these hearings in the last 20 years. Alam kong malaking posibilidad na merong tumatakot, na may takot ka dahil pagka sinabi mo may masasagasaan at ikaw iniisip mo yung sarili mong kapakanan. Naiintindihan ko yun. Nakakatakot nga naman pag ikaw magsalita ng may masasaktan o may masasagasaan. Hindi ba? Ayaw natin lahat yun. Ayaw natin, natatakot tayo pagka meron tayong babanggain o meron tayong masasagasaan o merong masasaktan sa katotohanan. So natural lang yan. That's part of human nature. Pero sana, you find the strength, di ba? And the wisdom to tell the truth. Just for the record, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Chairman, and just for the record, I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Rod? Ulit para...
Senator Pangilinan, I just had to step out for a while.
Okay, Gordon, atake yan.
I guess it's 10 to 8 and I think that we have covered a lot of ground, but as you can see, we still have a lot of ground to cover. The BIR, the tax aspect, and the fact that the inaccurate statements on the fact that they're hiding the real numbers, I think will help the government see their way clear into what is happening. Before I continue, I just want to acknowledge one of the people most interested in this hearing, and he's a doctor that works very, very hard. And I really appreciate the fact that he's always here with us, Dr. Tony Leachon. And I'm sure you heard that the Blue Ribbon's position on your fellow people working in the medical profession. I don't even want to call it a profession, in the practice of medicine, the practice of healing people. So thank you very much, Dr. Leachon.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Let me just this before we ask some more questions, just to be sure. The next hearing will have to be conducted on December 7th. Depending on your time zone, it will be a day that will live in infamy. 1941. Right before the day of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And that will be our hearing date at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry? On Monday, we have a session. May I ask the senators here present? I prefer actually December the 3rd, but that is vaccination day for us. I think we can all attend the hearing while everybody is being vaccinated. We can go ahead if you like. Says if you miss it, I can have you vaccinated by the Red Cross. I would like to call the hearing with the permission of my friend, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, my fraternity brother, and of course, Rizal Deveros and Senator Giron and Senator Lacson and all the others. Would it be preferable for you to do it on September 3? Because when we have sessions, it's very hard. December 7. Would you agree to have it on December 3? I said it's earlier. Mr. Wang Susan, we can hear you. What is the pleasure of the body? Senator Ontiveros? Senator Pangilinan?
All right, Chairman.
I'm okay. December 3.
December 3 is fine, right? I think it's more, we have more leeway.
Friday.
Yeah, that's a Friday, yes. And we can do it at 2 o'clock or even, yeah, 2 o'clock is fine, I think. Yeah. So that, yes, Senator Antiveros.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I just request the chairman to invite to the hearing the Bureau of Immigration so that I could pose some questions about the incident at the Davao International Airport when the Darganis were prevented from flying.
I would like to very much, but it will depend on what the whether we can go back to the status antebellum. But since the memorandum order was issued, they don't want to send people here. But I'm glad that the COA is here, so it shows that their independence and no reason why they should not come here. But we'll try. We'll call them and see if they're brave enough to do so.
Salamat po.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Senator Fico.
Yes, just an administrative matter. I was in communication with the Director General, Attorney Kimbo, and he has informed me that the Attorney Manalastas subpoena has not been served. There was an office in Bulacan given by the IBP. We thank the IBP for their assistance. And it turns out, I'm told, that the IBP office, the address given by the IBP was the address of the father who has long passed away. But the law office is still there. I saw it yesterday or the other day when I was in Bulacan. The big Malastas law office was logo and design was there. May I inquire if, because I understand also that there has been a precedent in the past wherein we issued, when the subpoena was not served, a warrant of arrest was still issued, but on the ground that it has been a very public hearing, and that we can assume that there has been notice, even if not formally received. I don't. If we can issue a warrant of arrest on that basis. I believe it was the Paule case, or Paule was one of the witnesses who had not been served the subpoena, but was ordered arrested by the Senate. I don't need, I'm not asking for the answer now, Mr. Chairman. Maybe we can review it, we can study it, and perhaps consider it after further study.
Well, the power of contempt, and which also includes the power of forcibly bringing somebody who is hiding, we have already shown that we could do that, especially with the Darganis and Paule. Paule didn't want to show up. We picked him up in Antipolo. That was another case. But I do want to say also that there are certain folks here, like Christopher Lloyd Lau. He has been consistently trying to avoid his presence here, to avoid coming here. At the same time, Sophia Custodio, along with Dennis Manalastas, and of course, Jason Uson and Gerald Cruz. These are folks that had to be brought in, and I can write a letter to the National Bureau of Investigation. The USAHA will try to look for them. These are people material to the case that could probably involve even money laundering or, avoidance of taxes or evasion of taxes. So I would like to be able to do that as well. There's also the other matter that I'm trying to put my finger to right now, and this is the matter of trying to get certain people to show up that has not, and then I've already mentioned them, Gerald Cruz and Jason Uson. So I don't know. I don't know how you want to proceed, but that's my suggestion. The Senate has the right to protect itself, to protect its independence. It is not just simply executing an arrest. That's part of the protection of the independence of the Senate towards making sure that we exercise our legitimate duty to balance the executive or other agencies of the government. So please let it be known to all that we intend to get this done. And for the record, the absence of these people are deterring the opening of other avenues of graft that has been undertaken by these people. So just to let you know that the chairman is intent on trying to get them to come down and be arrested and be brought here to justice. Like I said, like the same question I brought to the Darganis, why should they run? We're not trying to intimidate them, but they have to. It's called accountability. That's why it's called the Committee on Accountability of Public Officers, and it includes, if you look at our charter, it includes the fact that the public interest has to be protected at all times, and that it includes malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance in the investigation. So really, that's what you need to know. The other thing that I would like to suggest is, I'm being told that December 3 there will be no committee. I appeal to the senators. There will be no committee because it's supposed to be vaccination day. Huh? There will be no committee room available. Well, I'm sure they can spare one room. We don't really use it all because most of us are on TV mode or video mode. So I would like to appeal to the Secretary of the Senate or to the Senate President that we be allowed at least one room so we can continue the hearings on December the 3rd. We're not the ones delaying it, but the folks that have not been forthright, as Senator Pangilinan said it a while ago, has delayed it. And you can see when we have the information, it opens the eyes of many people as to the magnitude and the fact that this is a humongous case that is happening. So with your permission, I'd like to stay with December 3. Is that okay with everybody? We'll just try to work out the room. Can you give me the thumbs up? Thank you. So December 3, it is at 2 o'clock. By that time, many would have been vaccinated already anyway. That can be arranged by the ComSec, by the Secretary of the Senate. Yes, Attorney, I'm calling you Attorney already, Senator Mantiveros.
I wish, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in preparation for the December 3 hearing, ano na nga po yung arrangement about some of the Pharmally staff and or officials who will retrieve those mysterious boxes and finally deliver them to our committee, lalo na po yung dokumento tungkol sa cost of goods sold?
Well, I was going to go to that. We're going to subpoena Royal Cargo, which is the warehouse, so we will be able to know. But we will try to get those boxes. We've done this before. We brought in so many thousands of boxes to the Senate, and we need to. I think it is one of the cases that we investigated. But we can do that. Does anybody here know where those boxes are? Mr. Dargani, do you know where those boxes are so it can relieve you of the pressure?
The last I know that the boxes were in the office lang, but we no longer have that office anymore.
And who is in charge of Pharmally in your time that you were on the run? Who would know?
I don't know who would know. That's why I really want to go back and also see what's happening.
Well, we can make arrangements for you to be escorted by OSA.
That's what I also requested Attorney Conchu. If I know what's happening, if I can see what's happening, then maybe I could help.
We don't want to go on a wild goose chase and lack of firmness. So we will have. I will direct the Secretary General, the Sergeant at Arms. I will request him and direct his people to accompany you with proper vehicles to be able to get all those boxes.
And also, Mr. Chairman, with what Mr. Ong mentioned a while ago, if we could talk as well and discuss this also with our accountants and with our lawyers, as we also have to comply with the same documents, I believe, for the BIR, which they have already started their audit on Pharmally and on our personal taxes.
It's not going to impede the investigation of the Senate just because the BIR is also investigating. That has happened many, many, many times in the past. So just worry about the Senate. We need those boxes. And where would you start, for example?
Maybe warehouse. I don't know. That's why I want to talk to Lincoln also.
That you don't know where those boxes are.
I really have to talk to my partner.
Who is your partner?
Mr. Ong. We've not been able to contact each other.
He's right there. Can have you meet them?
We're being isolated. We were not able to talk to each other.
Okay, we'll let you talk to each other. Why do you know where the boxes are, Mr. Ong?
No, Mr. Chairman.
How can you, by talking to each other, what are you going to say? He's going to say, I don't know where it is. And then he's going to ask you, where is it? I don't know where it is. So what's the use of the Parlade?
We want to consult and talk to our accountant.
Which accountant is that? Your accountant already is under a lot of trouble.
Sorry.
All of you, there's a common denominator, evasiveness.
I probably mean to talk to our tax lawyer because I have no access to outside world now because my phone was confiscated.
I don't think we will need your help. We will find it out for ourselves then. I mean,
Mr. Chairman, please allow me to talk to Mr.
You're trying to pull our leg. As far as I'm concerned, we will send those out there and we will look for those boxes. And if we don't find them, then you'll be in an awful lot more of trouble. Because we can do it the hard way or the easy way. If you cooperate, fine. If you don't, we're not going to. You're talking about you have to see one another. And then you don't know where it is. Then you now want to talk to the tax lawyer. Then you want to do all these things. I mean, don't you have a fiduciary relationship with your stockholders? Kukunti lang nga kayo eh. Mr. Jargani? Mr. Ong?
Mr. Chairman.
That you don't know where those boxes are.
Mr. Chairman,
See, we can get them to SEC.
I really hope that Mr. Chairman, you will allow us to convene because we are partners.
No. Who is your tax lawyer that you want to see?
Mr. Dagani.
Alam mo, bakit mo tatawag kay Bergani?
Wala na po akong communication outside. So I would assume
lalo si Bergani, he's been hiding and he can go all over the country. By the way, who drove for you, Mr. Bergani, all over the country?
I drove my family.
Whose car?
It was a friend's car.
Whose friend? What friend? See, every time we ask you a question, it becomes a mystery man again. Who is his friend?
Can I give the name again to Mr. Kimbo, please? I just don't want to.
My God, we're going into the charade.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kimbo, get the name of the driver and the car. Get the registration of the car. Mr. Kimbo.
Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Senator Kiko.
Yeah, may I suggest that in matters of coordinating with their lawyers regarding the securing of these documents, they cannot be allowed to use the excuse that their movement is restricted, etc. Obviously, if they request us, the chairman, for the opportunity or request that they be allowed to call their lawyers for the delivery of these documents, we will obviously allow them. What they're doing now is they're making it as an excuse so that they don't and claim that they don't have access to their lawyers, etc. Ginagawang dahilan para hindi ma-retrieve itong mga dokumento. Kalokohan po yun.
The chair will entertain the motion originally done by you, if I remember correctly, to put these people in the city jail of Pasay. Because I'm tired of this. You ask Mr. Dargani, says, can I talk to, I cannot tell you. Why can you not tell us? It's a simple thing. Lumabas rin naman yung sinabi mo na hindi naman mo lang yung pera. Ba't kailangan pa ikutin mo pa kami?
That's correct.
Ha? Kailangan mo ba kami pa ikutin? Lalabas at lalabas naman yan. Ngayon, hingin nyo, kailangan mag-usap kami. Tapos hindi nyo rin naman pala alam kunyari. I know you know. So I'm not gonna be fooled by you. And this time, I will not be forgiving. I will not be compassionate.
And Mr. Chairman,
We can put this Twinkle Dargani in the women's correctional for the meantime. You want to play hardball? We will play hardball with you. We are not defenseless, you know.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just on that point, this is, Mr. Gargani is saying their boxes were in the office, except that the office is already no longer their office. I mean, this is all, if you ask me, this is all...
You're about to say BS, right?
BS, yes.
Right.
And that's what they're doing to us.
Yes.
And we cannot allow this to go on because the Senate as an institution has to uphold the institution's powers and prerogatives as a co-equal. I yield to Senator Ontiveros.
Senator Risa?
Salamat, Mr. Chairman. Kanina binanggit din ni Mr. Ong na gusto sana daw nilang makausap yung kanilang, bukod sa tax lawyer, yung kanilang accountant. I recall in an earlier hearing, Mr. Chairman, lumabas na yung accountant ng Pharmally at nandito rin po siya, si Ira Marie Moscoso. Could you please ask Ms. Moscoso, once and for all, para mapasa kamay na ng komite, kung nasa kanya ba, Mr. Chairman, yung mga mahiwagang kahon na ito?
Miss Moscoso will answer. Go ahead, ask the question, Senator.
Ms. Moscoso? Ms. Moscoso, paki-unmute. Naka-mute kayo. Okay.
Go ahead.
Ms. Moscoso, kayo yung accountant ng Pharmally, di ba?
Yeah po.
You're on mute.
Po. Hindi po namin kayo marinig. Paki-unmute. Okay.
Hello po, ma'am. Naririnig
Hello.
ko na po ako.
Yes, naririnig ko na kayo. Kayo ba ang accountant ng Pharmally?
Just to be clear po, ma'am, hindi po ako accountant or empleyado po ng Pharmally. Employee po ako ni Sir Jeff Mariano po.
Employee kayo ni Mr. Mariano. Okay, natanong din siya ng komite na previous hearing. Bago namin itanong sa kanya, kayo ba alam nyo kung nasan yung mga kahon ng mga dokumento na matagal nang hinihingi at hinahanap ng komite?
Ma'am, hindi rin po.
Okay, sino ang nakakaalam kung nasan na yung mga kahon?
I have no knowledge.
Dragon Ball sa ating hinahanap nila nito.
Sino po yung
Yung kahon na Dragon Ball.
Alam ba ni Mr. Mariano kung nasan yung mga kahon?
With that po, hindi ko rin po alam kung alam po. Pero from what I know po, tingin po, sa opinion pa lang po, baka po hindi rin na po alam. Kasi parehas lang po kami na ginagawa, ma'am, sa client po namin.
O sige, last question. Kung tatanungin ko rin naman si Mr. Mariano kung papayag yung chair. Pero kung sabihin din ni Mr. Mariano na hindi niya alam kung nasa na mga kahon, once and for all po, Ms. Moscoso, sino bang nakakaalam? Kasi imposibleng walang kahon at walang dokumento. Sino pong nakakaalam kung nasan yung mga kahon?
Hindi ko rin po talaga masasagot yung sino yun. Kasi po, yung task lang po namin sa client namin is record po. Bali, binibigay lang po yung source document sa amin and then i-record lang po namin. The same
Okay,
thing po ng mga hindi dagaan po sino po may
At
hawak or nakakaalam.
At pagkatapos nyong i-record, nasa na yung mga documents na iyon?
Babalik lang din po namin sa kanila po.
Okay. Salamat, Ms. Moscoso. Salamat. Mr. Chairman, pwede ko bang itanong din finally si Mr. Mariano? Mr. Mariano? Mr. Mariano, please sana masagot nyo na kasi napakasimpleng tanong at talagang aalamin po ng Senado yung sagot. Nasaan po ba ang mga kahon ng mga dokumentong iyan?
Wala po sa amin, Mr. Chairman. Pero last po is nandun po sa office nila.
Saan po yung office nila ng Pharmally?
Sa Fort Victoria po. Yun po yung last na nakita namin yung files.
Sa Fort Victoria?
Apo.
Na hindi na nila opisina.
As far as I know po, sir, yes po.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Kalukuhan yan.
Director Kimbo?
Dokumento nyo, yung tinatago.
Director General Kimbo?
Yan, iniwan nyo na parang tae.
Director General Kimbo?
Kalukuhan talaga.
So go ahead. I have a plan. I think we can get this. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I'm all ears. Napaka-pasensyoso po ng ating komite. And I only wish na yung mga tao ng Pharmally, kahit ilan sa kanila or kahit isa sa kanila, could just be, we keep using the word more forthright kasi we are going to get to the bottom of this, Mr. Chairman. I'm all ears for your plan, Mr. Chairman.
Before
Your
that,
Honor, I'm here in the room of the Darganis, Your Honor.
just a quick observation, Mr. Chairman, if you may. If I may, rather. Yes, well, obviously, the Darganis are saying, Mr. Dargani is saying he needs time to confer with the accountants and the lawyer and with Mr. Lincoln Ong, his director. But Mr. Lincoln Ong is already saying he does not have the documents and he does not know where it is. And the two accountants are also saying they don't know where the documents are. And therefore, Mr. Dargani is just delaying this whole proceeding, pretending that they will confer and discuss, when in fact they have no information as to where supposedly. They are claiming they have no information as to where the documents are. So there's nothing to discuss. So this request to ask, confer with their accountants and their lawyer, Mr. Chairman, is really an attempt to delay and to mislead and to fool this committee, Mr. President.
This is
Mr.
why,
Chair.
because of their trickery, chicanery, and fraud, I want to order upon your motion that these people be brought to the right facility. The two people will be brought to the Pasay City Jail and the lady will be brought to the Women's Correctional in Mandaluyong. Mandaluyong, di ba? Yes. That way, they want to play hardball, we'll play hardball. Let me ask Mr. Mariano. You are the outsourced accountant, correct?
Yes, sir.
You are the person who prepared the feasibility study, the financial statements, correct?
Drafted, yes, sir.
So, and you are also the person that, so you would have all these copies, correct?
No, sir.
Copy of ano po, Mr. Chairman?
All these documents, financial statements, and the that were used to when you submitted the tax returns, correct?
Only the ano lang po, Mr. Chairman, yung Word file lang po.
And of course, you encoded the records, right? They'll be working paper kayo, right? Meron kayong backup, correct?
Sa ano po kasi, Mr. Chairman, manual books po yung registration ng company.
Oh, what does this? Well, solve our problem.
Sir, Mr. Chairman?
Solve the problem then. How do we get a hold of all these accounting documents? These documents that we will need. Yung mga list of purchases. The 7.2 billion purchases versus 3.2 billion sa BIR. Summary list of purchases.
To get a hold, Mr. Chairman, ang naisip ko lang po is to solely request from the company lang po. Yun lang po alam ko.
Okay, sino sa company?
Any of the shareholders po siguro, sir. Not po.
Siguro. Si Dargani yan, and if he doesn't show it to us, then we'll just throw away the key. Hanggang matapos ng Congress na ito. Ganun talagang mangyayari. Yes, Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I am ready to make that motion with a well, maybe an amendment to the motion if it is acceptable. I am aware that Miss Twinkle Dargani has some concerns about her mental health, panic attacks. So maybe perhaps it should be, the motion should be that that the two other gentlemen be brought to Pasay City Jail while Ms. Gargani can stay in the Senate for the time being, Mr. Chairman. So moved, as amended.
Let me understand your motion that you want them to stay in the Senate until until what time?
No, we move that the two gentlemen be transferred to the Pasay City Jail. But considering Ms. Gargani, Twinkle Gargani's mental health condition, that she remain in Senate custody.
Well, we can send her to the National Mental Institution. They would have doctors and folks there who can help her out. Assuming, and I'm just taking their word for it. I see her talking with her lawyer. I'm not being hard-hearted, but we're being played. We've been played from day one.
In that
Every
case,
one of these people have been playing us.
yes, in that case, Mr. Chairman, maybe we can request doctors from the National Mental Health Institute to visit Ms. Gargani here in the Senate to assess her mental health condition.
I'm sure they will have the personal doctors. If that's the case, let them do so at their own expense.
Yes, Mr. Mr. Chairman, but in the meantime, that she be allowed to stay under Senate custody. And if mental health experts...
I can't buy that kasi ginagamit siyang shield ni Mohit eh. Naawa ako kay Twinkle actually. Bakit gagamitin ni Mohit yung kanyang kapatid? Papipirmahin niya, gagawin niya president. Tapos ikukubli niya. Can you imagine that? Let me ask one very, very hard question, if I may. To Twinkle. Twinkle, can I talk with you? Is it all right? Miss Twinkle?
Good evening. Good evening, Honorable Chairman. Good
I'm
evening.
sorry I have to ask you this. You know, you can ask me for anything with respect to your health, and I will grant it, provided it's really reasonable, no? And I want to help you out. You know, I want to believe that, I'm sorry, your brother wasn't forthright with you, assistant forthright with us.
Actually, he told me about the company, and I joined at my own will. I was appointed and elected.
If we ask you, you say you don't know anything about it, you were just named.
I'm sorry?
Every time we ask you a question, you say you don't know anything about it.
Yes, sir. I wasn't part of the operations, nor the financials, nor the transactions.
What do you do then, ma'am?
I was told to sign some documents. That was all my participation was in the company. I was a temporary substitute to the president. Our president is Mr. Wang Tzuyan. I was placed for substitution because he couldn't come in the country. But he is our president, and I'm just a director now.
All right, doesn't matter. But you do know where the documents are, do you?
No, sir.
So how can you be a director with a fiduciary relationship with your stockholders when you don't know where the papers are? It's impossible. I really mean what I'm saying. Twinkle, I'm more disposed to keeping you there. But if you don't cooperate, I will send you to the National Mental Institute because you have mental problems, and it's not a prison, it's a hospital. You can take one of the rooms there. it's a very decent hospital. That way, our people won't have to worry about you, and you can take care of yourself. They can take good care of you yourself. So that is my position. I'm sorry. I wish I could help you, but you're not helping us all. I cannot take the word of your brother that you are mentally unsound. I do not believe that. A lot of people have, you're probably in a depression right now, and I'm not qualified to do that. But if you're in the mental institute, they can provide you the medicine that you need. If you would like to have your own doctor, fine. You can have your own doctor visit you at but your brother will have to go to Pasay City Jail as originally intended by Senators Lacson and Senator Kiko and the others. But I'm only doing that as a last resort. I put Captain Paeldon in Pasay for 6 months, and I don't mind doing that because what has been done to the country is dastardly, really dastardly evil. So what is it going to be? Do you want your doctor to come and visit you there?
Yeah, my doctor is supposed to come and visit me here.
All right, okay, then you stay there. Then you'll stay there. The motion of Senator Pangilinan, it has been moved and is properly seconded. There are no objections. So we will send Mr. Dargani and Mr. Bong because they are not cooperating. Again, they think that they can talk their way out of this by lying their way through this. I'd rather bring them over to the Pasay City Jail. No objection? We hear none. So ordered. The director of the Blue Ribbon Committee, together with this is not the first time, by the way, to let the public know, we discussed this about 2 weeks ago with no less than the Senate President, and we have been having issues with these folks here, and we have to put extra guards there, etc., etc. There's an ambulance team on standby, doctors are on standby for all these people. Well, they're having the good life. But we have to defend the truth through the Senate. And so we all agreed at that time that we should send them to Pasay City Jail. Not me, but every one of them. And I agreed. So as chairman, it is now hereby ordered that they be committed, of course, with the permission of the Senate President, that they will be brought for safekeeping at the Pasay City Jail. So ordered. In the meantime, Director Kimbo will send a team to go to the offices there and find out and trace where all these documents went to. Mr. Mariano, you will direct us along with the other accountant, who's not been very helpful. What's your name? Moscoso? And the other accountant, the one that couldn't answer Senator Gelon's questions, Iluminada Sebial. Are you there, Ms. Sebial? Ms. Sebial, are you there? Ms. Sebial, are you there? Yeah. Do you have any knowledge where the documents are, Ms. Sebial? Ma'am, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm here, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yeah, I can see you. Do you know where the documents are?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Who's the principal keeper of the books? Certainly, you have a bookkeeper, right?
Yes, po.
Who's the bookkeeper? Who are the accountants of the corporation? Everybody seems not to want to know. I tell you, we will go all out if necessary. It's just like not providing us with the documents, so we can put you also under contempt. Mr. Mariano, did you listen? Did you hear me?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Pusin mo na yan.
You have to cooperate. If you don't, I don't think you can work without those documents, and you're not telling us the truth. If you're not telling us the truth, we will go after you. Am I understood?
Understood, Mr. Chairman.
So you better tell us where the documents are. You too, Ms. Abial, and you too, Ms. Moscoso, and we will also find ways and means. And the Director General is required to go to the offices where they originally were and find out which truck, which vehicles, and which people took out those documents so that we can trace it. The USAA should try and find out where they went. Dr. Kimbo, did you hear what I said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's proceed post haste on this matter. I'm not skittish about making decisions. After all, what have we got to lose? We already lost a lot of money. Let them suffer for their loss of money because I think that they really swindled the country, quote unquote. All right, so the hearing will be on December 3. In the meantime, Mr. Kimbo, you will send a team from our side to take a look at the old offices. If you need be, you should check the premises of some of the people, like in Forbes Park, if necessary. And by the way, the other thing that I would like to do is I want a subpoena issued to Mr. The husband of Rose Ong. Rose Dono Lim. Did you hear me, Director Kimbo?
Yes, Your Honor. Lin Wei Xiong.
Yeah,
is
Lin
in
Wei
Dubai.
Xiong. It's strange to me that his wife is being made to attend here, and they've got a lot of resources here. And una sinabi na nagkaroon na ng sakit doon, pero ngayon makakauwi na, hindi umuwi because there are questions on whether he really is the same guy as that guy who was jailed for drug pushing a previous one. And you know, we have people who can identify them, as you know, Mr. Kimbo. So
Yes,
I think we ought to ask the Department of Foreign Affairs to find out where he is in Dubai. Is he a resident? If he is a resident, then we should try to move with the Bureau of Immigration to cancel his resident visa. Let's look into that possibility. Yes, Senator Montiveros.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dargani was raising his hand. I hope he will be telling the committee something we need to know.
I'm not interested anymore in Mr. Dargani. He's been evasive. Every time we talk to him, he moves the goalpost. You ask him where he got the money, he will give us about an hour and a half of grief until he now say, we'll give it to Mr. Kimbo. We ask him for the driver, he'll do the same thing. We ask him where the books are, he'll say, oh, we have to go out there. And then he says he needs to talk to Mr. Ong. So it's been the runaround. Why should I listen to you, Mr. Dargani? What do you want, Mr. Dargani?
Mr. Chairman, I just want and pray that that our request to go for me to look physically for the books, as mentioned by Senator Pangilinan, or for the documents, for the boxes, with the companion of the OSAA. I will genuinely look for them. And also, if I could just have a convene with Mr. Ong, not in a public setting like this, but if just allow me some time to talk to him, ask him as well.
We'll allow you an hour. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
But make no mistake about it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
If we do not get those boxes immediately, there is a standing order that you be transferred, and I've done this before, to Pasay City Jail.
No, Chairman.
I've been trying to be kind to you. We also looked after your mother when you were arrested because we want to make sure she's all right. She visited you already there, you know, and, you know, you have the run of the place. But the Senate is not going to be held hostage by your antics of evading the information that is necessary. Masyado nang inapi ang bayan dito. Kawawang-kawawa na mga tao. Nakita mo, tinawag ko yung mga nurses kanina, nakiusap sila. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa sila nababayaran. So why should I listen to you? You know, I'm going to speak after this to the Indian National Day. Do you want me to speak about you? That you're ashamed to the Indian community? You're not forthright? I'm almost tempted to say that because I have a lot of Indian friends, more than you know. And I've known them to be honorable people. So wake up. Wake up. You're living in a fantasy world where you think you can get away from this. You can no longer get away from this. It's too big an issue for us to throw away. We're going to go after this. So you will have 1 hour with Kwan right away. Mr. Kimbo, see to it that they talk. Him and Mr. Ong. And then tomorrow, make a security escort to take him to wherever he feels that the boxes are there. I do not believe he does not know it. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He pretends to be stupid. But he's cagey. Okay? And I would like to be briefed day by day on the progress of what we're trying to do here. And I want to brief on all those people that we're trying to get. People like Uson. Uson, Gerald Cruz, Sofia Custodio, Dennis Manalastas. They're trying to lull us to sleep. We are not going to sleep. We're going to get them. And some other people that I have not been able to mention here. Okay, on that note, if there are no more issues, Senator Tiveros, with your permission, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Dillon, thank you all. It's been a very, very tiresome day. I've had meetings with the Judicial Bar Council. I slept this morning at about 5 o'clock preparing for this case. And it's no joke. And my people went home at 2 o'clock in the morning after discussing this case the whole day yesterday. So make no mistake about it. We work hard. We are resolute. And I can get all the lawyers that you buy. You can buy all the lawyers. But you're not going to buy yourself out in our attempt to secure the truth. Thank you all very much. And the session is suspended until December 2 p.m. on Friday. And Director Kimbo make arrangements also with the ComSec, the committee, the Senate Secretary. And if you need my help with the distinguished Senate President, who I'm sure will be very cooperative with this. See, I'm trying to rush it. I don't want to go on December 7. I don't want to delay the other things that we do because we're also in a hurry. There are bills that we have to approve. I was asked by the Supreme Court today when we're going to approve the bicameral conference report on the judicial marshal's bill. So I don't want to do it on a regular day when we have sessions. See, we can go on a holiday. I can go campaigning. I've not even been able to campaign. But be damn with it. I'd rather make sure that these people go to jail. And that's what we need to do. If they want to go to jail, continue doing what they're doing, including Ms. Mago. Thank you very much. And this session is now suspended. I'm sorry if I'm going to be crass and hard, but I will be firm and fair. We will always be fair. Session is suspended until the 3rd of December at 2 o'clock in the afternoon of Friday. Thank you and God bless the Republic of the Philippines.
Yan. Tapos na rin mga kabanat, no. Sa akin na kasi dito, yung medyo hindi lang ako conforme dito sa ginagawa kasi ni Senador Gordon. Bagamat okay din naman yung ginagawa niya na halimbawa habulin niya yung mga nagkakamali. Nga lang nakikita ko dito, ang binabanatan niya yung Pharmally lang. 'Di ba? Kasi kaya nasasabi ko kanina, nag-comment ako, parang bobo. Kasi bakit yung Pharmally lang, ang PS-DBM, bakit hindi niya binibira? Kasi hindi naman ito kung tutuusin lang, sikan lang ito sikan na itong Pharmally. Kung saan nakawan, ito ano lang ito Hindi naman ito makanakaw itong Pharmally na ito kung hindi involved itong PS-DBM. O saan sila kukuha ng pera? Sa palagay mo, ako makapagnakaw ako kung wala akong kasabwat sa loob? Ay nasa labas naman sila, outside naman sila ng gobyerno? Diba? Napakasimple. Kaso lang, hindi ko alam bakit itong yung tinitira masyado. Dapat lahat isama niya na. Diba? Kunin niya rin yung, kumbaga, yung kahon ng kahon na sinasabi niya. Bakit hindi niya titingnan din doon sa, sa PS-DBM? Diba? Dapat naging siya para makuha niya lahat kasi kinakikita ko yung tira niya dito lang lahat sa Pharmally. Samantala, dapat doon din sa PS-DBM kasi involved din naman yung PS-DBM na dyan Hindi naman yun makapagnakaw yung na yan kung walang, siyempre malalabas yan kung kung nakikita niya, nagkamali itong Pharmally, nakita niya na bagas, puro yung binibira niyang Pharmally, nagsisinungaling, mga ganun. Automatic, yung PS-DBM, involved din yun. O di kaya, ito rin taktika niya siguro, gusto niya makita itong kahon. Pag nakita niya kasi may pagkamali dito, automatic, involved yung PS-DBM. Nga lang, hindi rin siya kasi makaporma. Kasi itong si President Duterte ay tila pinagbabawalan din itong mga appointed niya. So, wala rin siya makukuha. Di ba? Yan din. Yan din yung minsan nakikita ko, dapat patawag niya rin si di ba? Isyuhan niya rin itong si Chong, kasi si Chong sa PS-DBM, bagamat ombudsman niyan, may kapangyarihan naman siya patawag Edi subpina niya rin at saka i-contempt niya rin pating itong Silaw. Kasi wala akong nakita na contempt dito sa part ng PS-DBM Wala Puro Pharmally. Sa totoo lang, dapat yung Pharmally, ang PS-DBM, yun talagang number 1 dyan. Kung naniwala si Senador Gordon na itong Pharmally ay binalasubas itong pera ng taong bayan, automatic yung sisihin dyan, yung number 1, yung PS-DBM, talaga mga kabanat, yun ang nakikita ko dyan. Dapat habulin niya rin yung PS-DBM. Gisahin niya rin at magkakaroon din siya ng kahit si Lincoln Ong, ay si sino ba to? Si Lloyd muna, i-contempt niya yan. Nga lang tila nagkaroon ng nag-appeal na hindi muna siya daw Sana tuluyan na. Si Michael Yang. Bagamat si Michael Yang hindi naman sa part ng Pharmally. Si Lloyd at saka si Leong. Yung mga Chinese na yan, dapat i-contempt din ni Senador Gordon. Kasi nakikita ko dyan, kung naniwala siya na itong Pharmally ay kinuha yung mga pera o nagpayaman at kumita ng pera dito sa gobyerno na hindi tama, kumbaga parang ginawa nila pinagsamantalahan, automatic involved yung PS-DBM, hindi lang yung dapat yung Pharmally. Number 1 diyan PS-DBM. Hindi naman niya makagawa ng kalukuhan itong Pharmally kung hindi kasabot yung PS-DBM, di ba? Kasi paano sila makanakaw sa pera? Kumbaga, paano sila makakulimbat ng pera? Nasa outside naman sila ng pamamalaan, di ba? Di ba? Napakasimple. Dapat habulin din nito ni Gordon. Di yung puro Pharmally lang paano yung the big boss, kumbaga, yung malaking tao. Itong mga to mga lang yan kumbaga parang sa mga isda maliliit lang yan. Outside sila sa gobyerno Yung malaki dun sa loob, kung talagang naniwala siya na mayroong kalukuhan ginagawa, automatic PS-DBM subukan niya ring kunin yung record doon. At least record sana. Kasi doon din naman naka-record yun sa Pharmally, naka-record din yan sa sa PS-DBM Kung hindi niya makita sa Pharmally, sa PS-DBM titingnan niya yung libro doon. Yung sinasabi nilang kahon. Kahon ng pinaghanap nila. So yan muna, maraming salamat mga kabanat. Itong video na ito, siguro i-edit ko ito. Kasi maganda itong bakbakan doon kay Miss Mago Nakikita ko doon ginisa. Talagang gisang-gisa doon si Miss Mago. Dito kay Lacson at saka kay Gordon. So maraming salamat. Mamaya siguro i-download ko muna kasi magkakaroon pa ito ng kumbaga processing bago natin makuha ang video nito. So maraming salamat and good evening. So alas 9 na. So kain muna tayo. Medyo nagugutom na ako. So maraming salamat sa nagko-comment Ricardo Responso. Longganisa yung ulam ko. Wow. Ang sarap yan So yan. Hindi naman kayo nag-comment. So hindi ko na i-mention yung pangalan nyo. At ito lang naman si nagko-comment Lagi si Ricardo, ito si Pacob. Siguro si Pacob natutulog na yon kasi mag-alas 9 na. So hanggang dito na lang at maraming salamat. I-end ko na ito.